Won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come get exiled with me? That was my best a cappella Mr. Rogers. That's as good as it gets, folks. But hello there, neighbor. I've got that line down. Got the neighbor part down. Oh, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's just having a delightful day, enjoying their friendly neighborhood Ray class action RPG. We are live with Geriatric Wizardry today. That's what we're doing today. Today, our character, for those of you who are unfamiliar or were not here yesterday, today our character is Draconis Delirium, and we are running as a Hierophant. There is no POB that I'm following for this thing because I'm mishmashing it as I go along. I may swap off of brands at some point. Brands have been really, really fun and really, really fast so far. I may go with something a bit more engaging than brands. Brands seem to be so fast nowadays. Back when I played the first brander I ever played, it was Armageddon brand to take down Shaper back when brands first came out. I didn't like the way how Storm brand functioned at that time, and I wanted to use Armageddon brand because it seemed like it was a better bosser. And I still think it's the superior bosser, but for clear speed, man, Stormbrand is really good, and with Archmage support, it's really good. Come say hello to some of our neighbors as G3 Mr. Rogers puts on his best leveling outfit to push towards Act 10 and into maps on a Hierophant. There we go. Let's go let our neighbors and our friends know. Our neighbors over on Discord. Gotta let all of our neighbors know that we are live. So that's what we're doing today. Is we are role playing as a geriatric wizard, and the goal, as always, is to have a great time with our hobby time. And hopefully things will go well. Hopefully. We'll see. All right, who do I need to say hello to today? Hello, neighbors. Well, hello there, Spencer. Hello there, James. Anderson. Hello there, neighbor. Hello there, neighbor Oliver Smith. Welcome, welcome. Hello there, Jonathan. Anime Wolf. Man, I'm going to mess up your name so many times today. My wife and I are watching through Star Trek Next Generation right now again. And so I'm going to call you Anime Worf all day. Oh. Welcome, Alejandro. No G3 Gandalf today. Just G3 Mr. Rogers. Hello there, neighbor. Welcome, Daniel. Welcome, Timmy. Oh, Timmy says, hey, just tuned in after finishing the previous VOD. Well, welcome, neighbor. Welcome. We're so thankful for G3 Gandalf to push us to level 53-ish yesterday. And now we're about to start Act 8. And we're going to learn how to share. We're going to go up and we're going to teach monsters how to share their loot with us. It's going to be great. Oliver says, what about Archmage with Vol Spark with Pierce and long duration? Yeah, I'm interested in trying out Spark to see how ridiculous it can get. The problem is going to be the mana cost and repeated casting. So far what I can tell from Archmage, you're going to want to essentially build up a massive amount of mana in a single use, and that single use needs to then do damage for a long duration, or it needs to be able to just clear the screen in a single use, or kill a boss in a single use. So I'm thinking like, what is it? Is it Vol Stormburst? Is that what it is? What's the one that's like, it's 3 sequential blasts? I think it's Stormburst. That one might be one. You can get, is it the Awakened Stormburst support? Is that what it is? And it turns it like into a big cross and adds some patterns to it. I forget. But there's a couple of different spells that I'd like to try out today. But right now, for now at least, we're just leveling with Stormbrand and it's going well. Eventually, I'm going to start using one of these Glyph Ornament Jewels. This is giving me Supercharge, Vengeful Commander, and a Jewel Socket. So right now, I've got a Wrath set into an Essence Worm. So that'll give me 30% increased aura effect. And then Supercharge gives you lightning damage with non-critical strikes as lucky. So it rolls twice and it takes the better out of the 2 rolls. And since lightning damage has got such a wide variance of what it can roll, that should be good. I'm also debating upgrading to this Obliteration once I hit level 56, which could be really nice for clear. Could be really nice for clear. As though I need any more clear. I'm already playing Stormbrand, right? Eric says, hey Iron, do you have a POB for my build? No, I presently don't. I am just winging it. I am essentially stitching this thing together as we go along. By the way, do me a favor as we start out the day. I always forget to do this. Do me a favor and make sure that you give that thumbs up button a like to let other people know, because I know sometimes YouTube doesn't let people know that we are live, even if they're subscribed. So don't think of it as doing Mr. Rogers, G3 Mr. Rogers a favor. Think of it as doing the whole community in G3 a favor, because you're letting other people know, hey, we're live. I was actually chatting with some people earlier today, and they said they didn't even realize that we've been live the last couple of days, which is kind of funny. So the basics of a brand build are that you cast brands, and then you want to run around like a crazy person casting brand recall. Brand recall is the primary mechanism for you to keep up your brands. It refreshes your brand duration every time you tag it. And of course, as your brands attach to targets, they also stay refreshing themselves whenever they're actually attached to something. They only reduce their duration, like their tick for their duration only really starts ticking or counting down after they stop being attached to something. So when a brand is attached to an enemy, you don't have to worry about it running out of a duration while it's attacking an enemy. It'll stay there. You don't have to worry about that part. What you have to worry about is if you are a numbskull like me and you forget to actually, press your brand recall button like every 2 seconds, like a maniac. And it really is basically every 2 seconds. Like you really do have to press it a lot. Like whenever the cooldown is up, you should be refreshing it. That's pretty much the way how that goes. And you can use empowers actually to boost your brand recall levels, because it scales with its cooldown with levels. So oftentimes you'll see players who are playing with brands linking their respective brand, whether it's Storm brand or Armageddon brand, with an Enlighten level 4 or Enlighten level 3, whatever is the highest that they can particularly afford at that point in the league. That is a very, very common thing to do. It's a very wise thing to do, because Stormbrand is the thing that is essentially gating your damage. Alright, let's go down here. Uh-oh, are we going to die? We're going to die right before we go into Deodre. That would suck. Alright, let's wrap up that Delirium. I don't want to fight her with Delirium on her. What did we get? Oh wow, we got an Orb of Fusing for all that trouble. Alright, so let's Archmage and Arcane Cloak, and now we've got 4 brands up. And there we go. Pretty good damage, actually. What a shock, right? Pretty good damage. I'm going to die here, but pretty good damage. I'm okay. I'm happy with that damage. I got to figure out my life and my resistances, but for the most part, that damage is really good. Which brands never have a problem with damage. Well, sometimes they have a problem with damage, like on bosses in general. But with this build, damage usually isn't the problem. With this build, usually your tankiness is the problem, because typically builds that are brand builds stretch all the way out to the left-hand side to get Runebinder, and then if you look here, you can see brands. Like if you pick up all of the brand nodes, you've got Explosive Runes, you've got Shaman's Domination, you've got Runebinder, and then all the way over here on the right, you've got Runesmith. So you're running a really, really thin and stretched tree. And that's not what we want to be doing. We don't want to run too thin of a tree. I might come down and grab Primordial Manifestation. That's what, 6 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. I might not. I feel like grabbing the Silent Life Wheel might be worth it. I may also use a Jewel Socket to turn a massive Keynote into a Doriani to give me, 20% of maximum life as extra energy shield. I might do that. Yeah, I might do that. Okay, we are here with a passive point at level 54, so we can input our large cluster jewel. So let's go ahead and do that. Ta-da! Is that working? I thought I had this, there we go. Applied. There we go. Alright, so it's got a medium cluster jewel here, which eventually I'll need to upgrade. So supercharge is 1, 2, 3, 4 passives away. Vengeful Commander is 1, 2, 3, 4 passives away. So I'll go up and around like this. No, I should go up and do Vengeful Commander first. Go up and around. Well, Supercharge, I feel like Supercharge is a really, really big damage boost. I mean, I've already got a Diamond Flask. This essentially makes it so that way you don't have to worry about rolling a Diamond Flask. What is this? What is still floating there? You guys see that? It looks like... Is that Deodre? Does she just like float there until you talk to Sin? You guys see? I've never noticed that. 5,000 hours of gameplay. Never noticed that. She's floating there. I always usually leave the sewer too quick, I guess. Yeah, so I think we'll refund a couple of passives and we'll come up and grab this relatively quickly. Question is which passives. These are all good for Crit Multi. Right now I'm using Elemental Overload because it's good damage. If I come through here, this is 2 points, this is 2 points. Arcane Surge is really good. I actually want a more reliable way to get Arcane Surge, so I might just come up here and grab Arcane Blessing. Because that should give me Arcane Surge basically all the time. I think Divine Guidance might be good, but Sanctuary of Thought will actually be really bad. Because it would be 50% less mana cost of skills, so that'll cut my Archmage damage in half from whatever damage boost it was giving me. So that would be kind of lame. Let's do this. Let's refund our life. I mean, who needs life, right? Like, let's get real. Who needs a 5 and a 6% life boost? Not me. And let's come up here. Oh, it gives me attack and cast speed as well. I forgot about that. That's a good jewel. That's a neat little jewel. Whoops, wrong way. All right, away we go. Enough yip-yapping. Enough yip-yapping here, Daniel Tiger. We've got a neighborhood to save, neighbor. I guess taking the lightning damage is lucky. Saves you a spot for using your Diamond Flask, right? I guess that's good. Daniel says, stick with Stormbrand. I have 6 Stormbrands right now working on tier 10 plus. Oh, nice. Roy Martin says, I bought 4 Fevered Minds last night, and now my Arc build is one-shotting everything. Get them as soon as you can. There you go. Old Man Ray says, thanks for liking my comment yesterday. Hey, man, it was a great comment. I'm pretty sure yours was the D&D comparison with the DM trying to just kill everyone after giving everybody OP stuff. I'm pretty sure that was the comment that I'm thinking of, right? Hopefully I'm remembering you correctly. If I'm misremembering you, I'm sorry. I'm a geriatric wizard. I plead the 50th year of my geriatricness. All right, let's go over here, grab the resurrection box. There we go. And then let's go find the resurrection site. One thing that I have been pleasantly surprised by has been my ability to pretty much just fly through the content regardless of level. Like, even taking down bosses. Like, occasionally I've died here and there, but for the most part, like, I'm not having to backtrack and say, oh yeah, I'll come back and deal with this guy later, which is what I usually do. I'll usually over-level a zone and then be like, yeah, I'll come back and fight this god later, or this Pantheon Tower later, or... But this time, on this playthrough at least, I've pretty much been able to clear out whatever it is that has been in my way. Haven't necessarily had to backtrack too much or go back to pick up passive points. Then again, haven't finished Act 10 yet, so once I type in Act 10, that's when we'll find out how much exactly I skipped, right? Alright, is it over here? Nope, not over here. Oh, here's the resurrection site. Bada boom. One thing that we did try out yesterday, it does not work, is Divine Ire. Divine Ire sucks with Archmage. It doesn't mean Divine Ire sucks, it just means Divine Ire sucks with Archmage. So, highly recommend you avoid that. Does Archmage work with Arcane Cloak? There's a question. Also, we're using Orb of Storms plus Tempest in order to proc a whole bunch of obnoxious little flares off of Orb of Storms. It's been quite fun. I think the thing that I really remember the most about enjoying about... Oh, wow. I was standing on a detonate. About Armageddon Brand, back when I played it, was just how effective it was at attaching to bosses and killing them. I feel like Stormbrand just does that really, really well, obviously, but with clear. But for bosses, I still feel like Armageddon Brand was probably one of the better bossing skills that I've ever played. Because as long as you're staying mobile, and as long as you have your brand recall up, like, you're basically... You don't need to cast again when you go into a boss fight. Whether it's... I mean, the Shaper, you might need to between instances, because the Shaper's dialogue is so long that you might need to actually recast it, but... For the most part, you're spending your time in Ray class traveling. You're not spending it recasting or name-locked somewhere. Alright, where's the way forward? Where did I miss? I missed a question here, by the way. Oliver Smith said, how's Dash and Second Wind compare to Flame Dash? I think it's much better. I think Lightning Warp is actually pretty legit, too. You may actually see us transition to Lightning Warp here in a bit. This is what Lightning Warp looks like. Pretty good, right? That's without Restoration. That's without anything leveled up. That's just Lightning Warp. And mind you, you can queue up 50 attempts, I think. 50 cycles of Lightning Warp. So it's pretty compelling stuff, I think. Where did I miss it? Is it over there on the top right? I probably did miss it, didn't I? I hate this zone. I think I missed it on the top right. Yeah, I think it's this boat up here. Can I jump? No, I can't jump. That is too great a distance. But yeah, earlier on in the leveling process, we were actually using Lightning Warp to take out bosses. That was pretty funny. And the fact that it was working was also pretty funny. The fact that Lightning Warp has no cooldown is also a great thing. Like, look at this. This is with no links. Like, it's good damage. It's pretty risky because it teleports you into the middle of a pack of enemies. Right? Don't hear what I'm not saying. It's not safe. But it's pretty funny to think that Lightning Warp could be a legit skill. Alright, what's up, Ron? Nope, that's not it. It's going to be over here to the left. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong again. Oh, there it is. Found it. Oh, then I need to go to my hideout after I grab the Grand Gate waypoint. Goku says, hey, Balding Forehead, good to see you. Good to see you, Goku. Oh, Archmage does not work with Arcane Cloak. Thank you for confirming. That's good to know. Cowshead says, LOL, you queue up 50 of them inside an AoE death. Yeah. I mean, it is pretty hilarious. Like how quickly you can die. Alright, this is one of our guild officers. Tossing back some of our investment currency for the guild bank. There we go. Throw this into our Legion Scarabs and get back to leveling. Ooh, is that right? By the way, if you hear Herbert Farnsworth saying good news, it's because I've got live searches going. That's what that is. All right, let's come up around here, and we've almost got Vengeful Commander. That'll give our Wrath a serious buff. What's our Wrath at right now? It's only level 14. So that should give us a little bit more of a buff. It's providing 19% more spell damage. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, made your first ever +3 bow today. Nice! That is something to be proud of. Rise of the Lightning Warp totem meta? Yeah, it might be. James says, there is a forbidden build with Molten Shell and Lightning Warp as the damage. Yeah, that does sound like a forbidden build. Oh, what do we capture? A Feral Fowl. Nice. I think all feral are foul. Is that right? Oh, look, a speed shrine. Woohoo! Am I dead? Nope, not dead yet. Haha. Oh, where is he? There he is. Alright, go up. Do. Speed shrine. So much fun. I should use a gull this league. Have you guys ever seen somebody use a gull? Get the mini shrine? It's pretty hilarious. It's a pretty fun little trick. Takes up your helmet spot, and it allows you to summon little mini shrines. It's quite fun. There we go. Whoa, hey now. That's a lot of damage. This is a very, very active playstyle, by the way. In comparison with what I usually run. This is much more active than Summoners, where you're just basically shield charging around or cycloning around. Like on this, you're always going to be keeping your movement skills up, but then you're also wanting to keep your brand recall going as quickly as possible. Daniel says, no Herald of Thunder? Not at the moment. I don't want to reserve any more mana. At the moment. At the moment, I just want to focus primarily on seeing how much mana we can stack and how effective that is on different skills. So the Stormbrand, like the reason why the brand is working so well for Stormbrand is because it's snapshotting the damage when you first cast it for the mana that you're spending. So you cast it once, you Stormbrand, it attaches, it still does that same amount of damage, it gets that flat amount of lightning damage added. There are other skills that I don't think will be as good. Arc is one of them that's pretty good. Fast AF showed off a video that made it look pretty dang compelling. As Arc as one skill. I did try out off stream yesterday Magma Orb with Unleash, and it's just super wonky. It's just super duper wonky. I think there's a build there to work out with like Gloomfang and then Chain, and maybe you use Bell Timbers to give yourself just a whole bunch of projectiles. But alright, this should give us our Herald effect, right? Vengeful Commander, and we're also now level 56, so we should be able to use Obliteration. What else do I need? I really only need... I should have Jewelers this. I have one Jewelers. There we go, look at that. Straight swap. We can still be leveling Orb of Storms along with Brand Recall and all that stuff inside Obliteration. And Obliteration reads like this. You get a whole bunch of flat physical damage, increased critical strike chance, and then gain 15% of physical as extra chaos. And then enemies you kill have a 20% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their life in chaos damage. So that's quite nice. Nothing to Lose says, hey, Iron, hope things are going well for you. Have you been impacted by COVID? Yeah, my entire region is pretty much in quarantine at the moment. So for those of us who work digitally or work from home anyway, it hasn't been very impactful for us, but it's been pretty impactful for our clients. So there's just less work. Wow, that feels good, having obliteration. Oh my goodness. Look at those guys pop. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I can see why obliteration plus explodey plus the brands is going to be good. It's going to be good. What a shock. Meta player says meta thing is going to be good. News at 11. Yeah, it's actually going to be good though. Oh no, I went the wrong way. How could I go the wrong way? How could you lead me this way, Gandalf? There we go. Boom. Alright, go this way? No. Go up here? Get my brands going. There we go. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. I think Stormbrand is probably going to be the best for this, for snapshotting damage. Orb of Storms is another one that can be really good. Just because it'll snapshot, keep all the damage. I haven't tried a 6-link Orb of Storms yet, but I should. I should see what it's like just running around in Orbs of Storming, dropping on people. They did reduce its cast rate. Not the cast speed for you to drop Orb of Storms, but the number of times that the Orb of Storms actually goes off. So, that's pretty rough. Oliver Smith says, it's much more active. Links brand recall with Cyclone and Castle channeling. Oh, now that's pretty brilliant. I don't think... Can I Cyclone with a wand? I don't think so. Cursed Gunner says, Iron, what are your thoughts on the best builds in relation to what you have thought before the league, now that you have some time with the mechanic? I think we... Actually, that's a great question. We should go back and evaluate the starter builds that we took a look at recommending. I think pretty much all of them, actually, are still good. Maybe with the exception, at the moment, just because people don't have the currency to run it, maybe with the exception anything bow related. But if you've got currency to run bows, like, even that's still going to be really strong. Especially with the way how things are working this league, like, everybody wants to be going super fast, right? In order to get as much as you can from the Delirium. So if you need to go super fast, like playing a bow build, scaling up, freezing everything so that way it can't do damage to you, like, these are all brilliant, brilliant ideas. Whoa! I guess my fire resistance is pretty terrible, huh? Yeah, 19%. Oops! Whoops, I'm not standing close enough! Whoops. Arcane Cloak. Help me out here, bro. Orb of Storms. Everyone. Orb of Storms, get him. There we go. Sunorm, boom. Oh no, I died. Right at the last moment. Let me actually pull this up. This is a good question. Let's evaluate our builds for a second. Mr. Rogers evaluates G3 Iron starter builds. Let's find this out. Where's my channel? I don't even know. Hello and what is up? Oh my goodness, okay. There's a bald old man talking on my other screen. Alright, so let's take a look here. So, we recommended... These were the 6 builds that we recommended. Hopefully you guys can see this. My stream is telling me you guys can see this. So, as long as you can see this... Excellent. So, Champion Slayer Cyclone is really, really good. Here's the problem with it, and this is why I swapped off of it, is dual wielding is bugged out right now. using swords. Does that mean that you can't play it? No, it just means you've got to itemize a little bit differently. One of the reasons why I swapped off of my Cyclone Duelist is because I've got plenty of other builds, as you can see right next to me, that I want to play. So we've already taken on the Cyclone Champion, and then now we're playing basically any other spell plus Hierophant plus Archmage. I've still got an Animate Weapon Necro that I want to try out, and then a Spectre Necro that I want to try out, and then Magic Find Pathfinder and see how that works for this league. Those are like the 5 builds that I wanted to try coming into the league. So I've got a bit of a list that I want to work through. So this I would still give it 2 thumbs up, and it's going to get a 3rd thumb up once they fix dual wielding. Then Poison, Blade Vortex, Shadow. I've heard tons of really good things from players who are playing this. That Blade Vortex is really, really good. That popping things using Poison is really, really strong right now in Delirium, and that it lets you go fast. So that's positive thus far. I haven't heard anybody yet playing a Wanding Marauder with our Berserker that we suggested players try out. So that being said, we said, hey, go give it a shot. A whole bunch of people haven't told me if they've tried it out yet. So if nobody else tells me how that's going, I'm eventually just going to go and make one. Because I think it would be great. Based on the amount of buffs that there are to wands and the flexibility that's there and the speed that's there from Berserker, you should basically never be in a dangerous position unless you're fighting a boss. So if you just want to go for massive amounts of damage and speed clear on tier 16s, that should be a great build for you. Ice Shot Ranger, that's one that's basically on my radar to play. I'm going to play it as a Pathfinder rather than as a Deadeye. Deadeye's better early on in the league, and then once you have currency to get Tailwind Boots and that sort of thing, then you can go as a Pathfinder. Next up, the Stormbrand Templar. Recommended it as an Inquisitor as a league starter because Inquisitors can just ignore enemy resistances. So if you need to take down a boss early on in a league, that was part of my thought process. Why go Inquisitor rather than over Hierophant? But it turns out that Archmage is just really good, and therefore stacking mana is really good. So going Hierophant is probably a better way to do that. But I'm pretty glad that we hit the nail on the head here with Stormbrand being strong. And then Moloch's Animate Weapon is like one of the more popular builds floating around right now, especially if you're a summoner. So very, very glad that that's there. So out of the 6 builds that we recommended, probably the weakest right now, just because I haven't heard feedback, is going to be the Wanding Berserker as well as the Ice Shot Ranger. But both of those are going to be more expensive builds as people continue to build up currency and build out their characters. So hopefully that answers your question in somewhat of an in-depth response. Raphael says, OMG, hello, I finally caught you online. Hey, welcome, Raphael. Orion says, do you think an Indigan could offset the 50% less mana cost for skills for tons of ES Hero Ascendancy? Sure. Sure. I think it could offset it a bit. At the very least. Alright. Hey, what's up, Dragosi? Welcome. Welcome, Lee. Welcome, Skepsis. All right, let's go up here. We just got the Sun Orb, right? I've got the Sun Orb. All right, let's get some more passive points. Give me some passives, Malmora. I killed the Gemling Legion for you. I'm an assassin. I am an ancient assassin. What do I need here? Oh my goodness, I need anything. Oh, this is giving me Dex, though. So I do need anything here, but I need anything that can roll Dex. And I need Fire and Cold. Alright, Deodre reward, Fire and Cold. Fire and Cold, right there. Let's see what we found. Strength, Int, damage to attacks times 2, and Elemental damage with attacks. I feel like that's a really good ring. Just not for me. Oh, that's funny. Oh, well. Alright, get a passive node. Come up and around. So this will give me my medium socket. What should I do for my medium socket? Nothing to Lose says, how's the bank doing? The bank is doing really well. Does anybody want to buy a headhunter? We're selling 2 headhunters right now. Bank is doing pretty good. Does anybody need a headhunter? Speaking of the bank, I should check for deposits. Nope, no deposits. Alright, so a couple of considerations. Oh, would be brand loyalty, Holy Conquest. Okay. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, there is this beautiful document here. This is a Google document That's got all of the new notables. Here, I will post this in the chat. And I'm actually going to add this into the video description, so if anybody wants to go look it up. New notables document for anyone to view. There we go. So if you're wondering about the new notables and how they work, you can click on that link and go take a look. So what does brand loyalty do? Brand loyalty. 20% increased brand attachment range. That's good. Enemies take 5% increased damage for each of your brands attached to them. Okay, but the most we're going to get up to is 2, so that's a 10% more multiplier, I guess. I guess that's pretty good. A 10% more multiplier. What is Holy Conquest? 20% increased damage with brand skills, 10% increased brand activation frequency, and 5% increased move speed. That's a lot. That actually sounds really good. All right, let's see if we can't find one of these. That actually sounds really nice. Really neato. So let's look. We need a medium cluster jewel. And we want it to have Holy Conquest. We want it to have Brand Loyalty. That's such a funny name. GGG. And we want it to have a jewel socket. Is this going to be like 15x for me to get? Oh no. That's not too bad at all. That's not too bad at all. Alright, so I'll have to sell some more stuff before I can do that, because I'm actually out of currency right now. So I'll have to sell some of these. Let's go sell some fusings. And then hopefully we'll have enough currency to purchase one of these bad boys. It's not too bad. How much do I have? I've got 50. Yeah, 44 for 20. There we go. 44 for 20. Let's see if this guy's actually trading. 44 for 20, good sir. 44 for 20. Whole bunch of people that are selling at 5 for 11 on the fusing market. Let's see if that works. Faculty says, I just started using Archmage support, 5 link to Stormbrand and Orb of Storms with 1 Fevered Mind. Yeah, Fevered Minds, the price just keeps going up. As more and more players recognize the absolute power, the sheer power of playing as a role-playing as a geriatric wizard. There we go. Alright, we've got our 20 chaos. Now let's go buy one of these. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is adds 4 passive skills. If this guy's actually there, this is actually a really good deal. Yeah, this is 14C for 4 skills on a medium jewel. It's got Jewel Socket, Holy Conquest, and Brand Loyalty. That's really good. For 14C, it's really good. It's got a spot if I wanted to Exalt Slam it too. I kind of want to redo all of this and just put these over here. Not going to do it now. Not going to do it now. I'm going to stay focused. Maybe. Hey, what's up, Candido? Welcome, welcome. Crimson says, are you recruiting for your guild? Presently, we are. We have reserved spots still for Patreon supporters, but we are capped at our non-Patreon supporter limit. That's where we're at right now. All right, gonna move this Delirium Notables back over here. What else do I need?
Good news, everyone.
Oh, there's good news. Ooh. That person's actually there. The guild is going to buy that. 220C. for this beast. Make sure this person's not scamming me. Let's not get scammed, fam. 100, 200. Phenomall plagued. Yep, Phenomall plagued arachnid. Okay. Sounds good to me. Thank you much, good sir. Alright. What else do I need to do here? Anything else? I don't think so. Throw that into the guild bank. Throw my pithy amount of fusing still back. And away we go. Alright, do I want to go up through Solaris? I think I do. I think I want to go up through Solaris and up and around. Brand stack like you, huh? I mean, brand stacking here. So here's the thing: brands can stack, but the number of brands that can attach is limited, right? So you got to be careful, like in how many brands you stack out. Whoops! I'm gonna die here. No, I'm not. I didn't die. Okay. Am I going the right direction here? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. If I end back up on the promenade, then I'll be upset. No, wait. The promenade is where I want to be. If I end up back in the old fields, then I'll be upset. Okay, here's the mirror. What's the reward? It's essences? Alright, let's skip it. I don't need essences right now. I'm very, very excited for when they introduce a hotkey. I think I'll actually interact with the mirror a lot more once they introduce that hotkey. I think. And did I go the right direction? I think I went the wrong direction. Yeah, I went the wrong direction. No, I went the right direction. Hey, that's great. For once. For once. I need to get a enduring mana pot as well. It's something else that I need to prioritize here pretty soon. Just keep my mana rolling. Man, I need to find a actually as many jewels as I can get that increase movement speed. Because I am a fast boy. Holy moly. But I could be faster. I'm just using Wanderlust right now. Imagine if I was using 7 League Step. Whew! That would be great. Alright, what's the treasure here? Is that actually the currency chest? Oh my gosh, it doesn't matter, I'm dead. Okay then. Does not matter, I am dead. This is what happens when you're playing a character that should be using evasion, but I'm not using evasion. I'm not using armor, I'm not using anything right now. You just end up dead. Basically what happens. You just end up dead. Whoops. Are things still popping? I feel like things are... Oh my goodness. I feel like things are not popping. Pop it like it's hot. Yeah, I don't think anything's dying at this point. I'm losing my brands. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. Oh man. That's fair. What do we get? We got up to 4 rewards. It's so not worth it. I'm glad I just leveled up. That's so not worth it. Oh, man. Alright, let's grab this up here. And then we'll eventually be able to use our Gale Star medium cluster. That's going to be good. That's going to give me some move speed and attachment range. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be good. Maybe I should just do generic brand damage across the board rather than doing like lightning damage. Just do like generic elemental brand damage, and then use both brands. Set up Lightning Brand on a 4-link, and then use Armageddon Brand on a 6-link. There's no rule that says I have to use just one brand. Put Storm Brand in a 4-link for mapping and for map clear with like an obliterate. Oh my goodness! Speaking of obliteration, that's the same pack. Why'd they all die? I wanted to see what they were doing. What's this guy got? Extra cold damage? Yeah. I probably should fix my resistances eventually. I probably should not be using this ring. What do you guys think? Oh, man. Timber says, hey, dude. Hope you're doing fine. You got some very nice stream titles, I gotta say. Oh, that's great, Timber. I love it. Welcome. Welcome to the neighborhood, neighbor. We are so glad to see you today. All right, this is a level 60 zone, and I'm only level 57. This is how fast I'm going. Timmy says, I think that the worst thing about this league is that the vast majority of reward types are either generic armor, trinkets, or weapons. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. All right, let's do a new instance in the Harbor Bridge. Yeah, I need to swap off my Tabula ASAP so I can get more evasion. Samuel says, have you seen the videos of a kind of disappointing ending of the 20 wave of Simulacrum? What do you think about it? I have not watched the ending of the Simulacrum fight. I watched Don the Crown's first video where he got to, I think, wave 18 or 19. And I have not watched anything else since. So that's where we're at right now. In terms of my progression of the Simulacrum lore and my knowledge of it. I'm basically trying to stay mostly spoiler-free. By the way, speaking of defenses, I just want you guys to know this. Those of you who have been watching the last couple of days, me playing as a champion, you know that, like, I don't like to fight Kitava in Act 5 without, like, 2k HP. And I don't like to fight Act 10 Kitava without, like, 3.5 to 4k HP. Like, right now I'm sitting at 1.6k life in Act 8. Like, this is atrocious for me. And I've died less times now than I did on my champion. Just because the damage is so much better. It really is just kill before you're killed. It's that style of build. And so you just keep moving. So hopefully nothing hits you. I don't have acro and phase acro at the moment. That would be nice. Because the only penalty would be energy shield. And I don't have like any energy shield right now. So could not really care about that. That damage when it works, man, it's pretty intense. Also, obliteration. Obliteration is actually proccing pretty regularly. I like that. I like that a lot. Blake says, yeah, I need to swap off my Tabula. Yeah. Yeah, swap off your Tabula, buddy. Eventually I'll swap off my Tabula, but I actually traded with somebody earlier in the day who legitimately had a Tabula, and they were level 92, I think. And they were running a Tabula, or I guess they they skin transferred. I guess if they wanted to skin transfer, they could have skin transferred a Tabula skin transfer. But they looked like they were wearing a Tabula. Their character looked that way. So I was assuming that they were wearing a Tabula. Quite interesting to see somebody push that far with a Tabula on. But I guess if you don't have a 6-link yet, other than that, even though it's super duper cheap, you could literally exchange your oh gosh, I'm dead. You could literally exchange your Tabula for another kind of 6-link. Yes, it would probably be corrupted, but you could get like a corrupted 6-link with the right sockets. If you really, really wanted to. I really need to get an Empower as well and start leveling that with my Stormbrand. I think I have like a level 1 Empower on my champion. Cowshead says, thinking of League starting Friday with Herald of Purity. Any thoughts on that? Yeah, Herald of Purity is great. Like, you can play it either as a standalone summoner with like a whole bunch of Herald effects with all of the new notables. So if you wanna lead your army into combat, you can do that. If you'd rather just have it augment your damage, you can do that. Oh my goodness, my brand's expired. I don't want to do this. It's just jewelry. It's not worth it. It's not. Literally, that Orb of Regret was more value to me than whatever else was going to drop from that. Alright, away we go. What do you guys think they would have to do in order to make you run every single mirror? Would they have to like put it so that way you could have random drops from basically like from other leagues, random drops from like every reward type? I think if they made it so that way every reward type was available every single time you interacted with the mirror, I think that would make it much more tempting. Like maybe the first tier you get armor and jewelry, and then maybe the second tier you get something different, right? I think if every tier was slightly different on what you are progressing and what you're getting, that would incentivize players to go, oh, I need to push, and it's rewarding to push. Maybe not. Maybe not. But if we want to reward people for pushing deeper and deeper into Delirium, there's got to be something that actually makes it worth it. And right now, rare jewelry, not it. At least for me. At least for me. Shouldn't speak for anybody else. But at least for me, that's not going to be what's going to make me farm the League mechanic. Or even interact with it at all. Now, the League mechanic that I do enjoy interacting with is Delirium maps. I do enjoy those. But Delirium orbs seem to be pretty few and far between from dropping, at least in the lower tier maps that I've been farming. Maybe higher tier maps, they'll drop better. As with all things in Path of Exile. Don't say something doesn't drop until you've at least reached, you know, tier 14 or so maps. Get into red maps, higher tier red maps. Alright, what should I do with this passive point? I should use it to allocate this jewel. Woohoo! And now we can get increased brand damage. That's good. And then we can go grab brand loyalty, and then grab Holy Conquest, and then grab this one, which will be another small jewel socket. And then we'll go from there. I feel like Act 8 has actually gone pretty quick. At least for me, it's gone pretty quick. Alright, let's go take these back over and finish off Act 8. WQ says, hey, don't do the 300 Splinter content, you will die. This has been another PSA from QWet, your friendly neighborhood Voling guy. Well, thank you, neighbor. Jason Peterson says, remove the on-death effects. Paul says, I'm finding it better than Legion. 2x drops a day. Wow. Skepsis says, I run all of them. I just wish there were more monsters to fight. My runs are so short from nothing to fight. That's fair. Multiple types of drops instead of just armor, weapons, jewelry. Yeah. James says, the backtracking for loot is honestly the main thing stopping me from doing deliriums. That's fair. Blake says the idea of delirium in a red map is daunting at the moment. Yeah, that's fair. That's a very, very fair thought. Alright, anything else I need to do here? This is a passive over here. But maybe we'll come back for that. Alright, let's grab brand loyalty, and then what should I get in my small slots? Small slot. What is this? Ooh, what is grand design? Do I already have that? Don't I already have that? No? I don't have that. It's only available on medium jewels, it looks like. That's a bummer. That one looks pretty good. You can cast an additional brand, 20% increased brand attachment, 10% brand activation, and 20% increased duration. Pretty nice. Huh. What is this notable then? Chaos resistance and maximum life. Oh, that's what blessed is. Maximum life and maximum mana and chaos resistance. I see now. Yeah, that sounds good. For mana. I see now. These all seem really bad. All of these jewels that I'm looking at. They're all just basically, hey, you have some resistances. Yeah. These all seem really bad. Then again, it is a small jewel, so maybe I don't even go for that. Maybe I don't even go all the way out. Maybe I would grab Holy Conquest and then I just call it good on extending my tree. And then I fill this out, come down here into the life wheel. Maybe I grab this jewel socket, turn this into a Doriani. I might do that. How much are Dorianis going for? I should look that up. Quantum, if you have a deposit, my man, make sure that you message a guild officer. I'm unfortunately not taking deposits myself right now. So make sure that you follow the procedure for making sure that your deposit gets tracked right. Just sent you a PM there, buddy. We want to make sure that we're tracking everybody's currency as it's supposed to be. All right. Chris says, playing an Assassin Spellslinger, Frostbolt, Ice Nova, and Kinetic COC build. It's really fun. Right on. That's good. Is there any way that I can cut out a point here? I think I can cut out some points here. Because this is, once I get rid of Elemental Overload, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 points that I can pull off of here, plus another 4. That's 8 points. I mean, this is a little bit of crit multi and crit strike chance, but that's 8 points. That'll get me down towards the Silent Life tree if I want to go down there all the way. Just for more HP. Because I'm bad at the game, so I need as much HP as possible. Whew. Alright, let's...
Good news, everyone.
Oh, good news. Good news. Oh, that is good news. Too bad the guild doesn't have any currency to buy that right now. We're just a poor, broke little guild with our 2 headhunters. Plus gazillions of other things that we've been investing in. It's too bad. It's a shame. It's a shame. If only there was a guild that made currency. Maybe we could partner with them, right? To make currency. If only there was, like, some players out there who liked trading and liked the way how economics work in PoE. Does anybody know anybody like that? Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for an alchemy. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my alchemy? Alright, let's go put these in. Let's go fight the sisters. Alright, ladies, ladies, ladies. I know there's 2 of you, but there's only 1 of me. Uh-oh. Whoops. Wrong button. Whoops. Wrong button. There we go. Ladies, ladies. Must we fight? Can't we talk this out? Oh my goodness. The physical damage from the rock drops. They're gonna kill me. Oh my gosh! Yep. Now, ladies, it's not kind to fight your neighbor. You need to be kind to your neighbor. Oh my goodness. Don't stand in front of her spear. Pro tip. When you see an enemy wind up, get out of the way. Do you know the way? Do you know the way to get out of the way? There we go. See, I can just cast brands and stay over here. Yeah, that's what I should do. Whew. Alright, we made it to Blood Aquas. Woohoo! Super exciting.
Good news, everyone!
Good news, everyone. Why, thank you. Thank you, Herbert Farnsworth. Alright, away we go. Let's make it to Highgate. Let's go cast some brands. There we go. We got 4 brands. Is that going to kill that whole pack? Yeah, it will. Wow. Way to go, little brands. Way to go, little buddies. Blow up that whole box. Hey, what's that? Spear Arc. Ooh, should we try that? We'll try that here in a bit. We'll see what it does here in a bit. Once we clear a zone here or there. Well, we're actually level 58. Not too bad to be pushing through. I'm pretty sure I would die to Azaro right now. Just because I have no life and no resistances for Fizmit. So as soon as he hits me, I'm just going to start weeping. Pretty sure that's the way how that's going to go. Whoa, speaking of weeping. I wonder if I should dual wield obliterations, huh? Then I won't be able to use the Storm... Orb of Storms cheese with Tempest Shield, but might still be worth it. Is that guy dead yet? Yep. I'm not dead yet! There we go. Oh man. Do your guys' shoulders ever just like straight up pop when you move it? This guy wants to buy for a mirror and 7x. How much are mirrors going for right now? What are mirrors going for right now, folks? Should we trade? Should we trade a headhunter for a mirror this early in the league? No. Nope. Sorry. Sorry. Feel free to come back when you have the Exalted. Yeah, that's a no-go. Mirrors are only 75 exalts right now. Sure, they're going to appreciate, but I am actually betting that this league and this league economy is actually much more like Legion than it is like Blight or like Metamorph. That's my guess. Sticky says, despite the negativity on Reddit, I'm still excited for Delirium on console. Hey, there's nothing wrong in saying you're excited for something. Like, we're excited for stuff here at G3. No reason not to be excited. We just hope that some of the things that are frustrating us will get fixed. Okay. Anything else that I need to do here? Oh, there's Puppet Master. See, look at all these passives that I'm missing out on. There's Kitava's Torments. Look at all these passives I'm just missing out on. And it doesn't even matter. Because my damage is so ridiculous. Ugh. Dakota says, what do you think the best way is to scale a Poet's Pen Spellslinger build? With spell levels. And with casting speed. Typically, if you play a Necromancer, when you're playing Poet's Pen, you can ramp up your cast speed because the more corpses you consume, like if you're doing a Desecrate or Unearth and Volatile Dead, It's really good because you ramp up your cast speed based on the number of corpses you've consumed recently. So it's really good. Really, really good. Yeah, Archmage seems really good. Should we try it out with this level 1 arc? Let's see what it does. See what level 1 arc does. Can I offer you a level 1 arc in this trying time? Let's see. That's level 1 arc. That's pretty compelling. That's level 1 arc. In a level 61 zone. Now granted, it's on a 6 link. And I'm using Obliteration.
Good news,
but that's
everyone.
skill gem level 1. I feel like that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Whoops. I don't actually have enough mana to keep recasting it, though. That's a problem. Yeah, that guy's got a ton of HP. Whoa, hey now. Did I say you could blow up monsters around me? No, you may not. Yeah. I feel like there's a good build there for Arc. But I also feel like it's actually a lot slower. Right? Because you have to stop and cast it every single time you want to deal damage. That's before I'm using Arcane Cloak, by the way. Now I'm using Arcane Cloak. It's a lot of damage. Holy moly, speaking of a lot of damage. I can't cast it again, though. I have no mana. Like, yeah. I guess with a bunch of Fevered Minds, I'd just be one-shotting that guy, but that's a legit problem. So white mobs, it's fine, but white mobs aren't what you need to worry about. Like, as your... Any build can take out white mobs, right? Especially at gem level appropriate. The fact that it's doing this good of damage, though, is actually pretty encouraging. Could I use it as a triple Herald Elementalist? And then do Blade Vortex? Well, you have no mana, though. Because a bunch of your Heralds are reserving your mana, I guess. So that's the bummer. Yeah, I think this is a bit more engaging of a playstyle than Stormbrand, but it's also much slower, right? Because your damage isn't automated. Your damage isn't casting after you've cast it. It's you have to stop every single pack to cast. Whoa, hey now. Speaking of damage. Also, I think some of the work that's actually happening here is just the Obliteration Wand. As soon as I'm getting a kill, I think the whole pack is reacting because some of those guys are dying due to the Obliteration Wand. So I think that's at least part of the story there. It's not bad. I should level up. I should level up an arc just for the heck of it. I should do that. Jeff says that's what I'm using, but gonna have Unleash with it. Cowshead says, are you saying basic attacks can kill white mobs quickly? Basic attacks probably could, especially if you're using the unarmed, unencumbered. Probably pretty good. Alrighty. How are we doing here today? Got a guild officer's message. All right. let's grab... Where is it? Good. All right, so everything looks good so far. Whew, sorry about that. Mr. Rogers, boys and girls, just had to deal with a little bit about our banking procedures. But we're all okay. All of our neighbors are safe. You can always use Vol Arc to get smoother clear. It should help for Pact Boys. Yeah. Just making sure that you have it up all the time is going to be a pain. Eric said, earlier you asked what would make Deliriums with garbage rewards worth it. I think they're all worth it. I'm up to tier 12 and 13 maps, and they all have a higher chance of dropping Delirium Orbs. That's fair. Eric says, my build is strong enough to not skip any Delirium encounter regardless of tier and difficulty, so it's been pretty rewarding for me. Yeah, that's great. That's a great point. James says, I'm using Archmage right now. It's great, though my mana regen sucks at like 300. Yeah. That's fair. But look at how much faster I can progress. Granted, as long as I don't get one shot. Look at how much faster you can progress just by dropping brands. And, like, you never stop moving. Like, you really don't. And the gameplay incentivizes you not to stop moving because you're looking for stuff to actively reattach your brands to. Right? So you want to get close to a pack. You then want to cast Brand Recall. Like, everything about the gameplay style is lending itself towards speed clearing, right? Whereas almost any other skill is going to require that you stop and cast it. Blade Vortex would be another one. Right? If you do Blade Vortex, Archmage, and then, like, Unleash, that would be another one. That would be right up there. Where the duration on it, you can set that up so that way it's so long that you only have to cast it once or twice a map. And then away you go. That's going to be quite good. Hey, a 6-socket. There we go. We need more jewelers. Yeah, so I guess that's 1 point. Blake says, Mr. Rogers, Bank Gangster Edition. Well, hello there, boys and girls. It's time to pay your bills. Bim Bam says, what's your recommended amount of EHP for Summoner build to do Cruel Lab? So typically I like to do the first lab at about 1200 HP is what I like because, again, the lab is hardcore, right? You don't have to have a hardcore viable build for the rest of the game. But the lab in and of itself is hardcore. If you die, you lose your progress. So even as a Summoner, you want to make sure that you've got enough resistances, enough tankiness, so that way if Azaro chooses to derp out or charge you rather than your minions, that you can survive it. Also, you want to have your monsters be high enough level so that way they don't die to Azaro, because summoning your monsters inside an Azaro fight is a great way to go down. So usually I'm looking for about 1200 and then about 2200 and then about 3500 and then about 4000 is what I'm typically looking for when I play a Summoner. But I'm incredibly lazy as a Summoner player, and I want to make it so that way if I make a mistake, it's okay. I have enough HP pool that it's okay for Azaro to jump on me and slam on me. So Bone Offering is your friend. Since Spirit Offering is no longer your friend, having a really high block chance is a great defensive mechanism as a Summoner. And for your minions, because you're simply negating all damage that would come into you for spell block or regular attack block. So make sure you take advantage of that, because that is a thing. So many folks were worried about Castwell Channeling being dead because Spirit Offering was dead. It's like, oh no, now our best offering, best defensive option isn't just a bunch of ES regen, now it's a bunch of block. Like, there's plenty of block that you can pick up on the tree, and there's even more block that's been made available now. Plenty of block that's available for summoners to gain access to and really abuse, take advantage of. I feel like I tell this story almost once a day relating to PoE, but my first ever Shaper kill came when I swapped over a bunch of my summoner damage items and went tankiness. It took longer than what many other builds would have taken to kill Shaper, but it was the first time I ever killed Shaper, and I got him down by relying on defenses and boosting my defenses. I took off a bunch of gear that supposedly was better. It was way more expensive. I put on like the advancing fortress as like my weapon, just so that way I always had fortify. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. I swapped off basically a whole bunch of stuff that gave me minion damage, and went with survivability, and it really worked. It really paid off. So that's just one person's tale. It doesn't mean everybody has to do that, but that's one person's tale to say, look, if you prioritize defenses in Path of Exile, there are some rewards to come from that. For some players. Not for everybody. But for some players, prioritizing a little bit more defenses can really change the way how you play the game and really change the progress that you're able to make. Uh-oh. Immortal Syndicate. Go away, you heinous, horrible person. Go away. Whole bunch of levels there. That's great. Oh, and I actually got a level 2. Alright, let's go grab Supercharge for one passive point over here and then another passive point there. And then I feel like we're good. I feel like Blessing will probably be good, but we might not go for Blessing. On the small passive, we might. It seems like it's a couple passive points for not that much of a benefit. 10% mana and 6% life. Whoa. Speaking of which, I could use any of those right now. Holy moly. For what? I'm going to have to spend like 3 passives to get it, because I have to spend a jewel socket to unlock the small jewel socket. Also, I have to spend the 2 sockets, or the 2 passive points on the tree to actually get the notable that has Blessing on it. I don't know. So what is that? That's basically 2% life and 3% mana per node. Sounds really bad. Deep Thought is like... Where is it? Deep Thought is like... I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes, right? That you're picking up for that. With your travel skills. I don't know, it's interesting. The new notables are definitely, at least for me, I don't know if it's doing any of this for anybody else. At least for me, it's causing me to really think and evaluate about how I travel on the tree. Right? Whether or not the skills that I thought were worth it on the regular passive tree are actually worth it. Because a lot of the times I'm noticing that stuff that I'm evaluating on the new notables, and I'm going, that doesn't seem like it's worth it. And then I'm going back and comparing with the regular passive tree and going, well, wait, that one's worth it, and it's actually worse numbers, so... Yeah, max block is an incredibly strong defensive mechanic. Alright, what did we get here? We got currency, right? That's what this is? Alright, let's run over here. Run over here. Touch the waypoint. Are there any monsters here? Are there any monsters in this zone? Oh my gosh. You guys see this? Hey, here's a monster. There we go. Any monsters in this zone? Legit, like, where's the pack density? I'm in Act 9 right now. There should be some pack density. Doesn't have to be a bunch, but some would be appreciated. Oh my goodness. Didn't seem like a whole lot. Livio says, hello G3, how are you feeling after the reroll? I'm feeling great. For the delirium mechanic, I think that was a great little example of it. Oh look, crap. I think it was pretty good. I think it was a good decision because I have zero idea, and I think GGG has zero idea of when there's going to be a patch for dual wielding coming out. So I didn't want to be waiting around for that patch and then have my entire gameplay for the league dictated by a bug fix. So I'm glad I made the swap earlier rather than later and holding out. Oh, well, like, it could come any day. Yeah, I forget what it was. I feel like there was a bug recently. Maybe during Blight? Maybe it wasn't Blight. Maybe it was Incursion, even. I feel like there was a bug that was supposed to get fixed, and they couldn't actually figure it out for, like, a league and a half. Maybe it was Synthesis. Maybe it was that long ago. My Geriatric Wizardry is showing. But The point being, I feel like the guys and the team, the ladies and the team at Grinding Gear Games are going to be doing their best to absolutely make sure that they can fix this problem, whatever the problem is with dual wielding, right? It's certainly not their intention to have this problem with dual wielding. So there's no point in sitting here and going, oh, well, it might come out today, it might come out tomorrow, it might never come out. You don't know how long it's going to take. So I'm not going to make my build plans around a bug fix as they're trying to fix it. Also, they had to straight up say in the development manifesto, oops, we broke something. We're not sure how to fix that either. And that's going to take much higher priority over the dual wielding bug. So who knows? Who knows? All right, here's a chromatic. We'll take the chromatic and we will sell this. Sell this. There we go. And away we go. I do need to talk to these people. Ta-da! Clear the sandstorm blocking the oasis. Oh no, I didn't touch the foothills. No! Boys and girls, do you ever get angry? G3 Mr. Rogers gets angry too. And sometimes when you get angry, boys and girls, it's okay for you to just drop an F-bomb. Now, I don't mean a 4-letter word. I mean a word like frustrated or a word like fundamental. There's lots of great F words that you can use when you're frustrated, when you're just a little slightly tilted about something that you forgot to do while you were leveling. Do you ever get slightly tilted? I have a song about getting slightly tilted. Xander says, hey chat and G3, I've been looking for answers on this but haven't found it. Are Archmage and channeling skills viable or does it just eat too much mana? Unfortunately, it eats too much mana, my dude. It really eats too much mana. It really is sad. We tried it yesterday on the VOD with Divine Ire. Basically, you just stop channeling after a few moments. Like, your skill doesn't even go off. It just kind of stops channeling. I don't know if that's a bug, if I was doing it right. Feel free to correct me just if somebody knows, but yesterday while I was trying it with Divine Ire, it just basically didn't work. Skepsis says, this is the problem I have, G3, very little density. Yeah. I mean, in maps there was good density. Even in low tier maps. I'm not very far on my Atlas. Look, I'm 48, 154 on my Atlas. I do not have a bunch of yellow maps unlocked. I think I've got like 2 yellow maps unlocked. So it's not like, you know, I've progressed deeply into my Atlas. And yet, like, I think I can say at least in white maps, Delirium adds a pretty solid amount of monsters. I would assume it would be the case as well for higher tier maps. But at least for me, when I was in lower tier maps, it might not be the case for everybody. At least for me, while I was in lower tier maps, there was a ton of stuff that was available there. But some instances while I'm leveling, there's just no density. There we go. Alright, let's take this back out to Sin. Oh, that's another good word, nothing to lose. Say flabbergasted. That's another great F word. Jake says, wait, what's wrong with dual wielding? It's broken right now, and it's not displaying if you're using 2 of the same weapon. Unless you're using thrusting swords. If you're using thrusting swords, dual wielding is working. If you're not using thrusting swords, then it's not working presently. So, that's the present condition. Alright, what else do I need to do? I need to meet Sin at the quarry. And I need to clear the sand here. So let's do this. Raul says, hey chat, I'm trying to decide what to roll for my finisher. My league starter was a zombie summoner that has been able to do tier 13 maps, but is now starting to struggle. Any advice, please? It all depends on what you like to play, Raul. Supercharge. Let's see what this does to my damage. If it does anything at all. Your damage does best when it does nothing at all. No, wait, that's the opposite. Your damage does best when it does Tons of things. I think that's just when you non-crit, though, right? I think that's what Vengeance does, or Supercharge. Yeah, non-critical strikes is lucky. What's my critical strike chance on this thing? 6.88%. There you go. Not very much. Not very much. Should I fight Shakira right now? Maybe we could do that. Alright, let's see what we get here. Oh boy, we got rings! We got rings, boys. Nope, skipping it. We get rings! This zone's actually pretty good for pack size. I usually am pretty happy with this zone. Sometimes you'll find a fortification or a Jund thing. A Jund encounter that'll add some more monsters as well. The zone's usually pretty lit, as the kids would say. Hey, are we not doing damage here? Sometimes I feel like Stormbrand just isn't going off. Would this guy die, please? Thank you. There we go. My goodness. Yeah, I think Stormbrand for clear, and then Armageddon Brand for bossing. And then you just level up, and there's enough specific brand damage that you can pick up on the tree with the new notables that you can basically ignore getting any kind of lightning or fire damage. I mean, there's a lot of damage up on the top side of the tree above the witch. That's specified damage, specific for either fire or lightning. So here's Heart of Thunder, and then here's Heart of Flame. Like, you could go up and grab either one of these for a lot of extra damage. But I feel like there's so much damage over here. Like, what is this? This is 15. So what is this? 12. Let's bust out our calculator here. 12 plus 45. 12 plus 45 plus how much else? Plus 25. So that's what, 82% increased damage for lightning, for specific lightning damage. And I would bet it's the same over here. Yeah, it's going to be the same over here for fire. Versus what are we getting? We're getting 12% increased lightning damage over here. So that's the other problem, is this isn't brands. It's not local to brands. This is 12 times what? 12 times 5? That's 60% increased lightning damage just off of that wheel. And then there's another what? There's another 24% that's available over there. That's a lot. I could use something like Lightning Trap. Lightning Trap with Archmage for bossing. Just do like a 6-link chest and swap it out for when you need to boss. Quantum Dot says, why do people suck at making builds? I don't know, man. Why are people terrible at so many things? I watch a video, budget COC Ice Nova, and it deals less damage than the one I started. The only that have cheap weapons and an amulet. Yeah, I mean, because there's no gate on who makes a build and on who publishes it, right? There's nothing that's stopping anybody from making a build and then publishing it. This is part of the reason why we literally do like featured builds, because not every build that people make is going to be good. And so I feel like part of something that tugs at, I don't know, that sounds too dramatic. It tugs at my heart. Like it does tug at least some of my sense as a gamer. When I, as a new player, I had no idea how to identify what build guides were good and what build guides were trash. And so, sure, it's real easy to look at a build guide from somebody that says, I do 27 million Shaper DPS, and you go, oh, that sounds really good. I don't see anybody else saying that. And then you look at it and you have zero concept of the gear that person has, the way that they got there, the classic meme question, what bandits they chose, right? You have zero concept of how to get there. You just look at it and you go, I want to do what this guy is claiming he's doing. And sometimes you'll see a build guide with zero explanation of how to level. Sometimes you'll see one with zero explanation on how to interact with the Pantheon. Sometimes you'll see zero explanation on videos actually showing what the build can do, like actually showcasing the build. Like, hey, this is what the build looks like. If you're looking for a build that will feel like this, then this might be a good build for you. Right? There are times where those considerations aren't taken into... Those considerations aren't well voiced in a build. And so I feel it's at least a bit incumbent on me to say, hey, here's some things to look for in a build guide. Because realistically, anybody can make a build guide. And anybody can publish a build guide. Doesn't mean it's good, but anybody can do it. So that's at least part of the reason why I want to feature build guides that are good, that are helpful, that are maintained, that are updated from build guide creators. So, and just because a build guide, let's also say that as well. Just because a build guide is bad for you doesn't mean it's bad overall, right? It could be that it's good for newer players. It could be that there's a different target demographic. A lot of players that play Path of Exile play from all over the world. So, seriously, like, there's a lot of players who play with English as their second language, and so they're writing a guide and it's not their first language. I couldn't write or produce a video in another language on Path of Exile on any of my builds. I couldn't talk about summoners for 30 minutes in another language. I couldn't type something up about summoners and post it in another language. So there's lots of different considerations. That being said, there are bad builds, and I feel like there is at least some responsibility for those of us in the PoE community who do know how to recognize a build that's better or worse to be able to voice that for other people's benefit. All right, I'm going to come over here and take life. So many people keep asking about this. I'm just going to direct quote exactly what Mark said. This is the dual wielding bug. Where is it? So the dual wielding bug reads like this: if you are dual wielding weapons that are not thrusting swords, the game will forget about the dual wield bonus. So it includes axes. And the game will forget about the dual wield bonus when you enter a different zone, so you have to weapon swap or remove and equip one of your weapons to fix it. Edit only swords. It's specifically only when dual wielding two swords other than thrusting swords. Other weapon types are unaffected. So take that for what it's worth. So the original post was all weapons, and then the edit post from Mark at Grinding Gear Games is just swords. All right, I'm going to grab a drink. Mr. Rogers needs to go use the bathroom, little boys and girls. And if you know what's good for you in your neighborhood, you'll use the restroom regularly as well. So that way you won't develop things like bladder infections or other various biological hazards that could happen from gaming in too long of a session without taking a potty break. So go get some water, boys and girls, and we'll be right back. Oh, well, hello there, neighbor. How are you doing today, neighbor? Oh, that's pretty great. Hey, Ferrum, what's up? All right, Facebreaker Totem built, written in Latin. I'm on it.
Good news, everyone.
I would read your build. I would read it. I wouldn't understand it, but I would read it. Well, welcome back, neighbors. Hopefully you all had a healthy and happy and safe little bio break. Taco Mage says, Lightning Strike Elementalist build written in cuneiform is almost ready. Should we start writing build guides in hieroglyphics? I mean, that's essentially what paint builds are, right? It's basically build guides written in hieroglyphics. Tim Bursellick says, thank you, Dr. G3 Iron. You've inspired me to expel my bladder's liquids to avoid bacterial infection and other biological mishaps that can be acquired from not taking care of your needs. Oh, man. It's too funny. Hanging out with you guys is too much fun. Too much fun. All right, we need to meet Sin at the quarry. We already did Shakira. We already did the Boiling Lake. We already did a refinery. I haven't done Kira yet. Quantum says, by the way, my first language isn't English. So when someone makes that excuse, I just don't care. Put in the effort to learn the language. That's a very fair critique. All right. Had some guild officers asking questions about investments, so we had to invest wisely there. With guild currency to make everybody more currency. Veerhart, welcome, my man. Veerhart says, hey G3 Iron, thanks for the dual wield tip. Just doubled my DPS by weapon swapping. Yep. Yep. It's a thing. It is the primary reason why I'm not on my champion Cycloner right now, is I just did not want to deal with it. Hey, look at that. We're getting currency drops as a reward this time. Let's see if it's worth it. Let's see how long I can live in this instance. Most likely not very long. I will probably die here shortly. Oh, gosh. Yeah, stuff is going to start hitting me. I have next to no evasion. I really should have, like, acro and phase acro. I forget, what's the, is it bronze? Bronze lith garment? I forget. What's the one that gives you, acro or phase acro? The chest piece? Somebody remind me. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. I don't. Oh my goodness. Alright, we got 2 rewards for that. Woohoo! I definitely need some more HP. Like, there's no doubt. 1700 HP. I probably shouldn't go fight the bosses in the lab yet. Maybe I should. I don't know. Let's see what we can do here against Nalva. Shrine of Empowerment. Let's do Shrine of Empowerment, and let's try to get Let's try to get down towards the vault. Or towards the halls. So let's come down and around. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to queue up your Storm Brands, and then in you go. And then attach them immediately to a whole bunch of baddies. Attach them immediately. Whole bunch of baddies. Attach them immediately to a whole bunch of baddies. Boom, he's dead. Okay, great. Got lots of time. Attach them immediately. Where's that stone? Pick up the stone. Oh, I ran out of my brands. That's bad. But we've got a lot of time right now, so that's good. 13 seconds without killing anything. See if these guys kill me. Yikes. Let's go clear this side. I took a suboptimal path right there. I think that's why I had to resummon my brands. Could have improved my pathing there a little bit. Alright, not bad. So we can clear Alva instances. That's kind of nice. At least at this level. That's kind of nice. We'll probably save the rest of the Alva instances for actual maps. But that's somewhat encouraging. Because as always, speed is good. Speed is a good thing. Wow, what a ginormous circle. I think I want to get off of Elemental Overload sooner rather than later. I think that's what I want to do. Nope, that's the dead end. Maybe I shouldn't, though. Maybe I should actually stay on it for a while. Because I don't have crit gear yet, right? So... an Elemental Overload is ridiculously strong, like, if you don't have crit gear. It really is. Just how strong it is incredibly stupid. When you compare using crit gear versus not using crit gear. Especially for cheap prices. Like, early on in the league, it's really, really expensive to gear out with crit. That's one of the reasons, again, why I think it's so smart to go Inquisitor.
Good news,
If you're going with a
everyone.
league starter, if like your first build is going to be a brand build, going with Inquisitor and just ignoring enemy resistances, pretty strong. Although at the moment, I'm playing Hierophant and it really doesn't matter, but that's because we have Archmage support. Archmage support, I don't think it's going to get patched, like, because I don't think it's that, I don't think it's a bug that it's doing this much damage, but the damage on it, I think, is probably going to get nerfed right away in 3.11. Unless, of course, GGG is like, hey, you know what? The meta is not moving towards a bunch of people playing self-cast, so... I don't know. I could see it going either way. Yeah, I could see it going either way. I could see them going, hey, this was a bug. We didn't actually intend for this to do this much damage. But if they do that and, like, only 4% of the league or something are playing with it, like, what's the harm in letting that bug stay, right? It's that old adage that a bug became a feature. Like, what's the harm in letting a self-cast actually deal some damage? Jose Martini says, I'll be a Necro in PS4 after dinner. See how it goes performance-wise. Looking forward to the new Spectres. Yeah, new Spectres are exciting. They are on my list to play. They are, I think, the third build on my list to play. Which, that's just a rough outline. I might choose to play them earlier in the league or later in the league. We will see how things go in the league. We'll see what drops for me. We'll see how things progress with my Atlas. How badly I need a boss killer, like, because that Cyclone character was supposed to be my boss killer. Like, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to league start with it, is because it was going to be like my primary character for supposedly deleting content. Oops. Oops. You're supposed to be able to hide behind these from her shout, but if you're If your orbs or if your brands destroy them, then you can't really hide behind them, can you? Let's go to chevrons. Kyle said, you watch Always Sunny? Oh, here, my friend. Maybe you could have a meme and realize that I do. Occasionally I do. So anyway, I started playing... Or no, wait. How does that meme go? It's so I was going to league start in Path of Exile. So anyway, so I started with my Hierophant. Yeah, that's how it is. The Danny DeVito with the double guns. So I started using my Storm brands. I league started Storm brands. Yeah. There's some pretty good It's Always Sunny related memes to PoE. But I feel like that's a show that not a whole lot of people watch. There are some who watch it, but not a whole lot of people would get the references. There's only so many truly inside jokes that we can handle here at G3, right? Like, eventually we actually have to let people know in on the jokes, otherwise people can't laugh with us, right? An inside joke is only as much fun as the people who are participating in the laughter, right? Wow, I actually died to neither of those, Deodre or Chevron. I'm surprised. This is Chaos, Resistance, and Life, and it's already right here. I should do this next. Before I come down and grab the Scion Life Wheel.
Good news, everyone.
Scion Life Wheel is a long ways away. I could just make my way over here as well. There's a whole bunch of crit over here, right? Yeah. Whole bunch of crit over here. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could get all the way down here in 9 points. What level am I right now? 62. So that puts me at level 70. And I'm touching the Scion Life Wheel. So then we fell at the Scion Life Wheel for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 9 plus 6, so 15 levels. So then we'd be committed to going down and filling out the Scion Life Wheel until 77. So we have to be good with our damage until 77. I could also come over here. This is a bit more life and mana regen. Isn't one of these a crit? Yeah, that's crit multi and crit strike chance. That's good. This is minion damage. Then of course I could come up here if I need this damage. Isn't Heartseeker over here? Throatseeker. Yeah, Throatseeker's over here. That's more crit strike multi. I feel like the crit strike multi would be better than... than over here. Also, this is 2 points for Annihilation. Which, that's a significant chunk. I still need to get more mana somehow. That's... no, that's minions. I don't want reduced cost. That's the bummer. Sanctum of Thought? That's armor. I have 0 armor right now, but that's because I'm using a tabula. I can swap over. Nothing to Lose says, what's the good news, everyone sound? It is my notification on a live search that I no longer need to be running. But it is my my global notification sound for live search on pathofexile.com. This is 8%. This is 8% with some mana regen rate. That's reduced mana reserve. That's increased effect of non-curse auras from your skills. So that would be increased effect of Wrath. Which is a more multiplier, but I don't think it's worth... Coming down here, these are 8%, and that's a jewel socket. So I guess if I come down through here, rather than going through, what is this, Sanctity? I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And that'll put me close to 1 jewel socket, 2 jewel sockets, as opposed to coming through here, which will only be 1 jewel socket and not more mana. So I should come through this way if I'm going to make my way down to the Silent Life wheel. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's go kill Malagaro. Cowshead says, you know how we placed a meme-filled tablet in the desert the other day? What if people, like the Mayans, did the same and were just trying to read their memes? Yeah, what if the Mayan calendar was just a whole big, like, joke? What if it was like an inside practical joke from the Mayans? They're like, in 4,000 years, this is going to be hilarious. Yeah. The clear right now that just happened, like right there, that's an example of Obliteration Wand. That's not an example of how good the brands are doing. Again, that can be achieved with nearly any skill as long as the explosion effect actually pops. Obliteration is just good for clear. It's very, very good for clear. Not so good for bossing. Very good for clear. Whoops. Whoops, get away from those. Oh, that's kind of nice. We took out his clones pretty quick. Thanks to Stormbrand and Chain. There we go. Alright, let's go take out the Unholy Trinity and onward to Act... What, Act 10? Alright, Act 10, here we go. Wait, where did my brands go? I thought I cast them all. No, I guess not. That moment when you think you have 4 brands active and you have no brands active? Oh, goodness. That's what we call off-brand humor. She dead yet? Not yet. I feel like I could go for a walk today. Spider's dead yet? Not yet. She's going to jump in. Oh, watch the big ball. Big ball of death. She dead yet? Yep, she's dead. Alright, let's go flush down the toilet and away to Act 10. Talk to Lily. Alright. Sell to Oriath. We're not even going to talk to Whalem. Whalem's not worth talking to. Kong says, you could wear a Cloak of Defiance, but it's expensive. Yeah, Cloak of Defiance, what are those going for right now? That's a good question. Probably 1 million currency. Cloak of Defiance right now, cheapest is 120 Chaos. Now, that would save me 1 passive point from Mind Over Matter. And it would give me an additional 10% of damages taken from mana before life. So, nope. Go ahead and message at Guild Officer on Discord. Alright, let's see here. Are there any other changes I need to make? This is the other thing. We were talking yesterday about the trade manifesto and how trade kills progression. Like, this is literally a glove from level 18. This is something I got at, what, level 20? So it's level 9. And then basically everything else was just, like, bought along the way. Like, this character is really, in terms of gear, is really quite terrible. And you can see it. Like, look at my resistances. My resistances are atrocious. And yet, we're still able to kill stuff because our damage is so high. It really is quite stunning. Do I have some decent rings? Well, I don't have that much currency. That's another thing, too. Yeah. I need to get to maps so that way I actually have some currency. Didn't I have a few Chaos Orbs drop? Oh yeah, but we used them to upgrade our Jewel socket. Oh well. And now nobody's buying anything. That's a bummer. Let's slash all these prices. Slash all these prices. Slash all these prices. Slash everything. This is a everything must go sale. There we go. Everything must go. Okay. Other things that I might want to upgrade. This guy wants to buy what? Oh my goodness. People want to buy things really, really quick. That's great. That should give me enough currency to buy some upgrades. Woo! Look at that. Sometimes you just have to slash your prices and people will come and try to buy from you like you're the Home Depot selling toilet paper. Alright, where is this? White Imperial. There you go. Ooh, that sounds like a good item. Somebody had a live search going. What does this guy want? This guy wants Doom Butcher. Where's the Doom Butcher? Oh, here you go. It's all you. Thank you, my good sir. Away you go. Now look at this. Now we've got a budget of 4 chaos. Now let's go look for a ring. I should be looking for, oh, what are they called? The unique rings from Synthesis that increase like Herald and buff effects. Should be getting one of those. Let's go elemental resistances and maximum life. Right? Eventually I'm going to lose... Oh, fire. Fire seems to be the thing that I'm most looking for. Oh, and mana. Mana would actually be really good on a ring for this build. How silly of me. What level am I? I'm level 62. So requirements, level 62 as the max. Alright, there's 1,000,000 hits. So let's see. What's the top tier roll? For life, here, you guys can look at my search process with me. What a thrilling prospect as we all go shopping together. Alright, so the top tier life roll is available at level 62. And then what's the top tier mana? It looks like maybe 74 to 80. Oops, an error occurred. Okay. Well, so let's... Oops, an error. Alright, so let's look for like 60. Let's look for like 60. And let's go from there. See if that narrows down our search. Oh, circles. There you go. Yes. Circles is what they're called. Thank you, Quantum. Hey, what's up, Melchizedek? Welcome, welcome. Oh, look at that. I don't need the accuracy and the fire damage to attacks, but that's just a good amount of stuff on it. There's strength, mana, and intelligence. Oh, that's right. This ring also has dex, doesn't it? Yeah, I can't use stuff if I take this off, but we can find that on another item. That's fine. Dex is what, a suffix? Yeah, it's a suffix. So if we find something with an open suffix, like this, for instance. Oh, increased lightning damage. Huh. Let's get that. That's got a lot of... It's got 30 fire resistance, 4% increased lightning damage, 79 life, 64 mana. And it's got a prefix that we can craft onto for dex. That sounds like a good upgrade to me. Alright. Let's buy that. Thank you much. Upgrade that. Good. So that does work there. D'Artagnan says, I got a 5-link Shroud of the Lightless as a pseudo 6-link for my brand Hierophant with a Stygian Shroud and 1 passive node Abyss Jewel. The increased maximum life and mana are holding me over till a true 6 link. Nice. Alright, let's go to our crafting bench. Throw this in the crafting bench. Throw this for Dex. And we'll go the cheap route. Will that make us work? Nope, we need to go with the more expensive route. Will that make us work? Nope, I'm like what? I'm like 1 off. Oh my goodness. I needed to roll more than 22. Come on, baby. Roll more than 22. There we go, 24. Took 2 attempts, but we got it. 3 attempts? I can't count. Alright, let's throw this in the 2 Chaos tab because somebody's going to buy that for sure, right? Yeah, nobody is. Alright, throw this in our maps. Was there anything else that I wanted to upgrade? We could upgrade our amulet. I'm only sitting on 1 chaos right now, so I'm not too attached to really upgrading much else. Adziri's Foible would be one thing that we could get. It gives a bunch of flat mana and then a bunch of increased mana. So maybe I should grab that. How much is Adziri's Foible going for? Let's find out. Should be really cheap, right? Nope. Looks like 10 chaos is about the going rate. Not too bad. That's not too bad. We can farm that up pretty quick. Alright, away we go. Let's go kill Act 10. Before we kill Kitava, right before we get to Kitava, is when we will do both of our labyrinths. Alright, here we go. I also need an Enduring Mana Flask, and I need... well, I'll probably want, like, an instant as well, right? Huh. Alright, there's Bannon. Away we go. Start popping stuff. Boom. Boom. Start popping. Start popping. There we go. Away we go. Oh, I'm temp chains. No! I need a warding flask. Because I don't have curse immunity from my ascendancy. Whoops. What if the Hierophant ascendancy was reworked so that way it was like, well, you have Arcane Surge. You cannot, right? That would be kind of like the way how like the Raider is. Or the Juggernaut, right? While you're at max endurance charges. All these other things get into effect. And like a buff to your endurance charges. What if Arcane Surge wasn't just like a surge, a temporary buff? What if you could make it permanent? I guess that's basically what we're going to do. Because it's whenever your spells hit. So we're going to make it so that way we're pretty much permanent. Whoa, that's a lot of damage. Alright, let's fly through Oriath. Isn't this where Atula hangs out? I went too far down. Yeah. I went way too far down. I'm sorry, okay? Boys and girls, when you make a mistake, my good friend Bob Ross always used to tell me, mistakes aren't mistakes. They're just happy accidents. So when you walk the wrong direction as you're trying to level through Rayclast, well, that just means that you've got more time to appreciate the scenery of the fallen and broken down town of Oriath. In the midst of its destruction as a result of you awaking Kitava from his eternal slumber into a state of absolute fury. Happy little accident. Probably. Hey, what's up, Kevin Guy? Welcome, welcome. Yes, presently we do have Melchizedek. We do have Chain into our Stormbrand right now. Is that bad? What do you think? I think it's actually pretty good. Thus far, it's been working pretty well. That could just be because Archmage plus Stormbrand is really, really strong. Yeah, it's pretty much a fourth of my damage is coming off of that. Where am I going here? Oh, I need to meet Bannon. That's right. Man, I'm so used to just rushing through Act 10. I'm not even actually doing what Act 10 wants me to do. Whoops. Whoops-a-daisies. It's very good for clearing. Yes, it is. Not as good for bossing. That's where Armageddon Brand comes in. We're debating whether or not I'm actually going to take Armageddon Brand and set it up on a 6-link, and then Stormbrand on a 4-link. That's what I'm presently debating. All right. Now that we're in the ossuary, is there nothing that I want in here? I don't think there is. I think this is actually just a leveling zone. I think that's what I'm remembering. Which I might actually want to just level for a second. Considering I'm level 62. And a little bit over that for the required level of the zone. I need to find the desecrated chambers. That's right. That's what I need to go do. And then we go kill Avarius Reassembled. Quantum Dot says, I'm going to miss the cluster jewels being everywhere on the market. I really hope they make them regular drops after the league is done. Knowing GGG, I would say don't get your hopes up. They'll probably implement Delirium, especially with how it's been received. If Delirium even goes core, they may give Delirium like the Legion treatment. I forget, was it Legion and Incursion? I forget now. They may give it the treatment where it's like, hey, it'll come back after a league. We're going to have it sit out for a league, and we're going to rework it, and then we'll have it come back. That would be my initial impression after the opening launch weekend. Because after the launch, at least for PC players, a lot of people were very unhappy. And that doesn't mean that they're unhappy with Path of Exile in general, it just means they're unhappy with this particular release and how it's affecting their gameplay. So that's a thing. Doesn't mean it's right, but GGG is known sometimes to whoops, I can do this. I can jump. You normally let me jump. There we go. Ah! Hate it when that happens. GGG is known to cave when there's enough angry players voicing their angry opinions about specific things. No, I don't want that X. I want this X. Alright, so let's think about this. Let's refund these passives. And then let's come down this tree. 1, 2, 3. Yep. And let's make our way down here for some more life. Let's do that. I think it is a needed thing. I think that is what this build is lacking. Is life. That is sorely what this build is lacking. Some survivability. So let's go down and grab the Silent Life Wheel. If you're going to grab it, you might as well grab it sooner rather than later. It means less time, less deaths that you're going to experience due to not having it. Which means more time playing and less time staring at your screen going, why did I die? I can tell you why I died, because I'm using absolutely terrible gear. Because I spent, what was it, 14C on a cluster jewel node, and I've spent exactly like 0 of anything on my gloves. I bought these gloves as from a vendor, just so that way I had gloves in my slot. Gotta love how strong Stormbrand is. Really, at this point, Stormbrand might just be an applier for obliteration chance, too. Especially while I'm clearing. Bim Bam says, I re-rolled also yesterday, kind of freebasing a Guardian with auras and Herald of Purity zombies. Nice. Louis Modas says, I can just imagine an aircraft manufacturer saying that. An assembly mistake is just a happy accident. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're cruising at about 24,000 feet, and we're going to be crashing soon. But don't you worry. That's just a happy little accident. Yeah, there are some industries, right, that accidents are not happy, nor are they little. Accidents are quite a big deal. Yeah. Ooh, superior lightning pen. Well, I'll use that if I don't say so myself. Be happy to use that. Level 65, I'm level 63. I think that's okay. I think this is an okay separation of levels here. Whoops. Get them, Brands. There we go. How are you guys liking movement with double dash, by the way, second wind? Are you guys liking that? Are you guys even using second wind plus dash? I know I certainly am. Oh, what dropped? It feels a lot smoother than Flame Dash at the moment, at least to me. So that is why I'm using Dash plus Second Wind. Feels very smooth, very fast. Whoops, my brands expired. I think I need a bit more duration on my brands. Oh, hey there. Hey there, Avarius. What's the deal, my dude? Why you gotta be like that? Oh, get ready for the slam. And welcome to the slam. And down he goes, Staff of Purity. Away we go. Alright, find a way to destroy Kitava's horns. What else do I need to do? Renaud says, ready for the 30% res, minus 30%. Well, right now I'm at 49, 42, 51. How many deaths do you guys think I'm at? What do you guys think? Over, under 50? Over, under 50. You have to guess if it's over 50 or under 50. Put it in chat. Do you think I'm over 50 deaths or under 50 deaths? How many deaths do you think I'm at? My wife and I, as we drive around the country oftentimes here in the United States to go visit friends and family, we'll play a game called Over Under, where one of us has to guess the arrival time that we will have when we pull into the driveway of the destination or the parking lot of the destination where we're going. And the other one of us then has to guess if we're going to arrive over that time or under that time. So what do you think? Over, under 50 deaths. If you're watching the VOD, no cheating. No cheating and jumping forward. Make sure you drop a comment, over or under 50 deaths. Then you can edit your comment and make it look like you were right all along, right? That's the best way to cheat that system. All right, did you guys get your guesses in? Make sure you get your guesses in. All right, you guys said over, under? Over, under 50. Everybody's pretty much said under. A couple people have said over. Here we go. Oh, we've died 51 times. 51 times. Act 10. Look at how close that was. Wow. That was almost a push. It was almost a push right on the nose. That's pretty incredible. What a moment. What a moment to be alive. To have our over-under be 50 and to be at 51 deaths. That's crazy. That's legit crazy. That's a juicy one, Exile. Yeah, I think that's the closest one it's ever been. All right, all of that's garbage. Anything else I need to do here? All right. I am at 1,898 HP. My resistances are atrocious. 49, 42, 51. Hey, that's the same amount of deaths I have. For sure, I can go do at least the second lab. For sure, right? For sure. But I don't know. I need to get some better gloves. Are there better gloves anywhere? Do we have better gloves in the guild stash? Probably. Shekels of the Ratchet would probably be better at this point. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's got dex, it's got armor, it's got mana, it's got fire and cold resistance. Those are way better. Let's use that. Alright. Anything else? I don't think so. Jewels to share? Oh, wow. Storm Drinker. Damage penetrates 8% of lightning resistance. That's actually not too bad. Chance to block spell damage. That's nice. Crit multi. That's nice. Melee and lightning and mind speed. Ooh, that's rough. Yeah, those are all rough. Hey, what is this? Oh, this is G3. Somebody redid the way how G3 was placed in there. All right, let's come put our deposits away. And then later on today, we've got to go and attack some markets. So that way we're investing wisely. But that'll be later on. Right now, we actually get to play the game. All right, throw these in the guild bank. All right, and whoops, 10C in the guild bank. Chain leveled up. I don't think I can really upgrade much more beyond that right now without actually dumping some currency into my character. I could buy a few more regrets, actually. That's what I should do. I should regret this out. Right? I should regret this out. Yeah. Do I have any more regrets? I have 2 regrets. 1, 2. Somebody asked me if, when I look back on my life, if I have regrets. Of course I have regrets. Alright, that's good. So now we're MOM. We have more mana than life. That's good. I'll be able to grab 1 passive here, 2 passives. So this we could turn into a Doriani Jewel, which would give us life into Energy Shield. That would be good. Locon says, what level are you? We are level 63. 63. Bim Bam says, have you looked at which new Spectres are good? No, I have not done my Spectre build yet. The list that is right next to my slightly bearded face, my slightly bearded Mr. Rogers face, is the list of builds that we're working on. So Cyclone Champion is the one that we've already completed. We're working on any spell plus Hierophant plus Archmage support. All right, let's go do the second lab, and let's see me fail. Shifu says, I haven't had much time to play yet, but did start aiming for hero. Any suggestions on fun skills to use at endgame yet if I go with Archmage? Arc seems to be pretty promising. The brand skills seem to be pretty promising. Other stuff that we've tried out, Magma Orb, I've tried out. Didn't seem like it was that great. Orb of Storm seems to be pretty good if you can proc it with Tempest Shield a whole bunch. What else? Anything else? We're going to fit this. I can fit this up here. There we go. Now we've still got our Tempest Shield. Trying to think. What other spells seem to be good? Channeling skills are not good. So we definitely have already tried that. We've tried a couple of channeling skills. It just seems like you eat through so much of your mana that your skill doesn't actually go off. So that's something to avoid. Something to avoid. Archmage. Or Arcane Cloak. There we go. Don't jump on me, you crazed Emperor. You crazy Emperor. Alright, down he goes. So he did about 300 damage there. About 300 damage onto my life. That's at least something. Stormcall. Stormcall is another one that we were talking about. Vol Stormcall, I think, is going to be very, very good. Legitimately a candidate, I think. The problem with early leveling, like a character, and pushing your Atlas with anything besides Stormbrand is that Stormbrand's level of quality of life is simply just better than almost everything else because you can set it and forget it and just keep smashing Stormbrand or Brand Recall. So it will be tough to compare anything to Stormbrand, right? Because of the quality that is there. Also, it's kind of interesting using Stormbrand as a, or using Arcane Cloak, like as a legitimate protect skill, as a guard skill. Because there's a ton of damage that you can absorb there on top of your MOM. So that's quite nice. Like that's 1,000 damage that I'm mitigating on top of MOM. It's not to be messed with. All right, where's the next passageway? Am I going the wrong way? Nope, this has got to be the right way, right? Nope, that way's... Oh, that's a secret. Where is it? Where's the Switch? Where's the Nintendo Switch? Here it is. Should we bother with this? Oh, I'm gonna get poisoned and die. How did you fail on the lab? Well, I was messing around with a shrine that probably was not worth it. Whoops. Where did I miss the last one? Over here. There's not even any bad guys. What the heck? Oh, there we go. Porcupines, of course. Of course there would be a porcupine. What did we get? Oh, nice. We got knockback and what? Increased damage and stun duration? Totally worth it. That was definitely worth it. This is definitely not me being sarcastic. It's totally me worth it. I think there we were actually looking for like disabling traps or an additional treasure key. Try a Stormcall with Reverberation Wand and Spell Cascade. 3 blue link you could put on Archmage too. Yeah, I should try it with a Pledge of Hands, right? Level 30 Greater Spell Echo. Pledge of Hands are pretty cheap right now. They're only like 120C. I feel like that's pretty cheap. I feel like it's pretty cheap for what they're going to be. I should say that. Like, just wait until one of the bigger community members in Path of Exile starts playing a Hierophant with Stormbrand. Like, all it took was Ziggy D to even mention it and say, hey, this is a thing that you can do, and it already made the price spike way up. Wait until they actually start featuring it, whether that's Mathil, whether that's MBX Extreme, whether that's Ziggy D, whether that's Rise or Tarkat. Like, just wait until somebody actually legitimately features that as a build. That's a larger community member. That's going to be pretty insane. I can just stay over here. Ah! You can slam all you want, Azaro. There you go. Go get those guys too. Hey, that's actually pretty good. That's pretty good damage. Granted, I'm 8 levels over the zone and should be killing this really quickly anyway, but yeah. Quantum Dot says, why bother with second wind and faster casting when you can just go frost blink? You can blink without stopping the channeling too. Frost blink. Oh, because frost blink is instant, right? But I think it's still got a longer cooldown, doesn't it? I think I was using frost blink earlier, but it wasn't. It didn't feel as good. Doesn't mean it's not as good. I used it very, very early on. But I think that was my general impression of Frostblink was, this does not feel as good. Doesn't mean it wouldn't now. Alright, the estate crossing, that's where we want to go. And away we go! Well, hello boys and girls. Today we're going to attempt the labyrinth. Have you ever fought in the labyrinth before? Have you ever maybe had an accident in the labyrinth where you've walked on a trap? Maybe that trap was doing percentage HP of your total amount of HP, so it doesn't matter how much HP you actually have because you were standing too far on the trap. Maybe you panic flashed and you smashed all of your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons way too quickly, and so you ran out of flash juice and then you ended up dying. That's never happened to Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is a professional. Mr. Rogers doesn't panic flask. Mr. Rogers just straight up dies to traps. He doesn't even have time to panic flask. If Mr. Rogers played Path of Exile, I need to go this way. I need to not look at my phone and die in the lab. Alright. I need to watch out for his jump. Right away. And down he goes. And down they all go. Wow, that was fast. I feel like he was worse in his first fight than he was in his second or his third fight. Alright, away we go. Hazaro, drop me some exalts. No? I'll take the armorer's scrap and the blacksmith stones because it's really early and I need them. Southbound, those are good for Animate Guardian. Edict of Force, nice. Oh yeah, the Ascendancy Altar. You know, the whole reason why we're here. Alright, let's go spend 2 more passive points. We could go to Divine Guidance. That will give us a whole bunch of damage. But then it means I'm not getting my Arcane Surge bonus until Uber Lab. It's a lot of spell damage. And I've already got Arcane Capacitor over here. You get Spell Leech while you have Arcane Surged. 40% increased spell damage while you have Arcane Surge. And increased AoE while you have Arcane Surge. I definitely know I'm not doing this. That would be good if I was going Shimmeron. I think I want to go Divine Guidance. Because I want even more damage to be taken from my mana as a hit. I think. We're going to try it. We're going to see if that was a mistake or not. We're going to try it. Shifu says, at least you aren't Bob Rossing it. Happy little deaths. No, that was earlier. That was earlier in the day. Happy little deaths here and there. Just a happy little death. Alright, so now I've got, what, 1,800 life? I'm gonna lose here if I go try and fight Azaro again. It's gonna be nerve-wracking. Quantum says, how long after the deposit should I expect the sheet to update? Because it didn't update for me. Quantum, if you've made a deposit, it should show on the deposits tab right away. So Quantum, if you want to PM me on Discord, let me know what your character name was and who the officer was that you deposited with. and we can get that sorted out. Melchizedek says, by the way, the Stormbrand skills work the same way as the old golems. They can kill the bosses while you're dead. Oh, that's great. So maybe Stormbrand will be good enough to level me up. I am level 63 going into a level 68 zone. I'm going to die. This is going to be embarrassing. Oh, I shouldn't even try this. Clay says, Transfig of the Mind makes mana on the passive damage too. That's a good point. That's a good point. We've got lots of damage here. Damage is not what I'm worried about. Getting hit is what I'm worried about. Like, get the damage, yeah, see? Getting hit is what I'm worried about. I might get killed by just, like, regular mobs in the lab. Jeez. Forget traps, forget Azaro. I'm scared of white mobs. We'll find out real quick here. At the first Azaro, we'll find out if this character can kill him or not. Should be fairly evident how quickly my character will go down in a one-shot. Have I mentioned that I have virtually no armor right now as well? I think I've mentioned that. If I haven't, hey guys, I have virtually no armor. Domain path, that's not what I want. Do I need it? I need to work my way all the way back down and around. I love watching lab racers because the way how they just navigate and know exactly how to go from spot to spot is amazing. It's nothing short of amazing to me. Whoops. Speaking of nothing short of amazing, how about if we just die? Ugh. Jake says, what's all the clan and depositing stuff going on? Sorry, I'm new here. Welcome, Jake. We do a guild bank where players deposit currency in over a period of time into our guild fund, and then a whole bunch of our guild officers then trade based off of our knowledge of the economy, and we make a whole bunch of currency, and then we split it between the bankers and the investors. So investors, right now, a minimum accepted deposit is 1x or 100C, and players can deposit that with a guild officer. We've actually got videos on it, so if you want a whole breakdown of the thing, we've done it for several leagues. We did it way back before the Good Guy Gaming community was anything more than just a handful of us. So watch for the slice. Alright, that wasn't too bad, but he didn't hit us at all. So, don't get hit, don't take damage. We split up the profits, Jake. So, essentially everybody who deposits, let's say somebody deposits 10 Exalted, everybody's guaranteed to get at least 10% back of their profits. So if somebody deposits 10 Exalted, then they'll get 11 Exalted back. They'll get their initial deposit of 10 plus 10% of that, which would be 1 Exalt. So, it's a way that a lot of newer players and veteran players can make passive income with their currency. A lot of players who utilize our banking services do it because they don't necessarily want to do all the trading. So some players find that it's better for them personally just to keep their currency, and some players find that it's preferable for them to have somebody else do the trading for them. So it really just depends. I ought to be going right here, yeah? Every player's got a different priority what to do with their time and what sort of character goals they've got. And so as a guild, that's one of the things that we try to do is help educate players on how they can further their own trade goals. It's what the entire playlist Bank of Exile is dedicated to on this channel, is that we try to educate players on how to better make economic decisions inside Path of Exile. Alright, let's go. This is worth 5% life, and it's available right now, so I'm going to just grab that. Even though I have, like, no life on my... I just have no life on my gear. whatsoever. Oh no, it's a golden door! Crap. So I have to backtrack. I have to go where? I should have known it when it was the funny shaped lab. Should have known there'd be a golden key. I've got a golden ticket. No, that's Willy Wonka. That's a cosplay I won't be doing. Mr. Rogers, I can do. Gandalf, I can do. Willy Wonka, I don't think I have a top hat. I think that one would be a bit tougher. Up here is where I need to go. You know, where all the lab traps are. There we go. Go get him. Go get him, Stormbrand. Alright, and now we can go find the golden door. I've got a golden ticket. How much you guys want to bet I'm just going to die on the last attempt of Azaro? Final fight. It's not going to be fun. My reaction is just going to be to instantly quit and uninstall the game. Oh no, I should have gone left. No! I should have looked up on PoE Lab which direction to go. Skepsis says, for me, currency is mainly for messing around with crafting and occasionally buying something from someone. The remainder at the end of the league just goes to standard. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of players see currency as. And so for a lot of players, it's like, it's not that big a deal. For some players, it's a really, really big deal. For some players, when they join the guild bank, whether or not they're a guild member or not, when they just join to register, some players have never actually owned 100 Chaos in their time playing Path of Exile. Other players, 100 Chaos is like what they make on the first day right away. So it's just a wide variance of players that we have in the guild. Alright, is this the second fight? I think this is the second fight. Watch his shield charge. Down he goes. Alright, yeah, I think the damage is good enough. Jake says, I've personally been really struggling since starting like a month ago to progress past the early stages, getting to the end game higher maps, and in turn being able to farm currency I need for gear. Yeah. And that's fine. Dude, that is fine. Play the game at your own pace. Like, legitimately, I think one of the things that ruins this game for a lot of players is that they don't play this game at their own pace. They watch someone else playing and they go, oh, that's the pace that I need to be playing at. No, it's not. That's the pace that person likes to play at. Like, especially in the age of the internet, so many people compare their own builds and their own playstyles to streamers or to other big-time community members. Like, those are people who are literally playing the game for a job. Like, they're playing for 40 to 60 hours a week. One of the things that I cannot even begin to express my level of respect are for people like Zizaran, who play hardcore and who stream every single day. Like, that guy streams between 10 to 12 hours. In fact, 10 might be short. Like, the amount of dedication that he's got to his job, this is, again, it's his full-time job. The amount of dedication that he's got to his job is admirable. And it's nothing short of amazing, like on a human level, to be able to do any one thing for 12 hours besides just breathe, right? To be entertaining, to be engaging, but then also to play a game on a very difficult setting, hardcore, like where if you make mistakes, you gotta restart. I think that's personally pretty amazing. Ooh. I would think that if I die in the labyrinth, that would not be pretty amazing. One thing that does kind of stink about this is that it's just a buff that doesn't mitigate damage. It just gives you more HP for the time while Arcane Cloak is up. Whereas other guard skills can actually mitigate some of the damage that's coming in. So that is definitely something of a drawback. Whoops. Speaking of a drawback, let's just dash right into this group of stuff without having my brand recall ready. That sounds like a good idea, right? All right, here we go. Third aspirant's trial. Devin Johnson says, wasn't Ziz's launch weekend a 40-hour stream? I'm actually not sure. It might have been. Like, it's ridiculous. Quantum Dot says, I joined because I'm planning on playing some expensive builds this league. Need all the help I can get. Yeah, that makes sense. Roberto Mendoza says, I still haven't made it to maps more than 24 hours in game. Mostly AFK, though. That's fine. That's fair. Play at your own pace, dude. Jake says, I play a lot and I like to go fast. It's just the mechanics of how to progress that have evaded me. But yeah, I also do tend to have the problem of comparing myself to people who play the game 24/7 for years. Yeah. Yep. Quantum Dot says, I think the problem is with new players. You are doing a build, you look at an item and it's 3x. You start to think how to get 3x. Then you find people telling you everything you're doing is wrong, and if you can't fix it, you feel bad. Yeah, that's also true. There is a lot of poor education and a general lack of empathy inside, and maybe it's not just PoE, maybe it's just gaming in general. I actually think PoE is probably the exception in that a lot of gaming communities don't necessarily like to help each other and do a really bad job of helping each other. And one of the things that I feel is incumbent, again, on me, not to make it sound like too big of a deal and be overly dramatic, but I do feel it incumbent on me here at G3 to be like, okay, how can we help the new players who are genuinely interested in learning the game, right? How can we take them from a question that they have on day one to being able to master that and then eventually becoming a leader in the game themselves, right? Somebody who helps other people learn the game themselves. So, all right, we're not going Sanctuary of Thought. Come up here and grab Illuminated Devotion, right? There we go. And then for my Uber Lab, we'll grab Arcane Blessing. I could swap this over. Brand Recall, 30% increased cooldown recovery speed. That's really good. That's just too good. That's what's keeping our brands up, so I'm going to keep that. Marcelo says, LOL 12 hours. Today when I woke up, I went to Twitch to check on active streams, and Ziz was close to shutting down on 20-hour stream. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, a 12-hour job for you or me, that's... Now, granted, this is Ziz's peak, right? Like, during opening week is when he's going to be pushing and playing the most. But still, it's a lot of dedication, right, to playing the game. So for those of us who have other jobs and other ways that we are working to provide for ourselves and for our family, it's just not healthy to compare ourselves to other people who are doing it for a job. Would you do that when you're going out and playing a recreational sport? If you go to play some basketball or some soccer, some football with a social group of friends, right? Would you compare yourself to a professional and say, oh, well, I'm not doing the same thing that person is, so I need to get there, right? We would actually say that's very, very unhealthy if you were doing that, right? So I think there's just a give and take. There's just a balance. All right, we no longer need the Diamond Flask because when we are critting, we're getting the multiplier, or no multiplier, but we've got Elemental Overload, so we actually don't care about critting a whole bunch. And when we're not critting, our lightning damage is lucky. So it essentially is making it a little bit better for us. All right, Lightning Pen. I think I'm just going to do this. We'll just level that up. That's fine. And then we're going to sell this for what, like 10 chaos? Do I have a 10 chaos? Yeah, I got a 10 chaos over here. Anyway, didn't mean to sound too preachy. All right, we just did both labs. I am going to go and get some more water, use a bio break, and then we'll be right back as we go and take down Kitava Act 10 and then get into maps. Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in Rayclast. Won't you play? Won't you play? Won't you play some PoE? That looks like a bad jewel. Maybe it's not, but maybe it is. I don't know. Looks like a bad jewel to me. You want my 3 chaos? That requires the operation to be logged in. Oh, okay. Weird. Somebody wanted to buy my lucky flask, but didn't want to stay logged in. All right, this flask is way too small. Do we have a larger mana flask in the guild stash? Yeah, that's 1400. That's a lot bigger. That's 1800. That's a lot bigger. Let's see about this. That's level 65. So we're nearly there. Increased amount recovered. Reduced recovery rate. I actually don't like that. 60% increased amount recovered. Mana recovery occurs instantly at the end of the flask effect. And it removes bleed. Nice. I always like it when we remove bleed on stuff. That's always nice. Alright, away we go. Let's go kill Kataba. And then I can type in /passives and see what we're at. Laucon says, when I started playing in January, several players helped me out by selling me good gear for cheap. Right on. Shifu says, we want to stack mana on all of our gear with Archmage, right? Yes. The more mana you have, the more you can pop with Arcane Cloak, which that buffs grants added damage equal to 13% of mana spent by this skill effect. So you pop Arcane Cloak, and then you pop your brands, or whatever other spell it is that you want to pop, and then away you go. And boom, you're getting all of that lightning base damage onto your brand or whatever spell it is that you just popped. It's quite a bit. Whoa, hey now. Guys, fellas, no need to actually kill me here. I'm just a harmless Hierophant. I'm just a geriatric wizard. No need to get all of your panties in a bunch, as the youth of today would say. All right, do I need to go here? Didn't we already do Torch Courts? I already did Torch Coach, didn't I? Didn't I already do this? Yeah, I already did this. My dude, why are you following me here? You need a notable medium cluster jewel for 1.5 chaos. Okay. I'm just gonna make this guy follow me all around Rayclast. Should I hop to Lion Eye's Watch now? There you go, my dude. Thanks much for contributing to the Me Make More Currency Fund. Marcelo says, being helpful in PoE pays off. Last league, I reached the multi-mod recipe and messaged Global for it. People actually tipped me, and I got like 1x and 20C from it. Nice. I try to do for other people what I like people to do for me. Yeah, that's a good general principle, right? Melchizedek says, the damage for Archmage is based on the mana multiplier for each support gem. So Archmage, Control Destruction, Conk Effect, and Lightning Pen will be great. Yeah, if you take a look, what I'm using right now, Chain is a 150% mana multiplier. Arcane Surge is a 130% mana multiplier. Lightning Pen is a 140 multiplier. Archmage doesn't have a multiplier, but it gives you all of that other base. And then Controlled Destruction is a 130 multiplier, and then Stormbrand itself. So, as you're casting your Stormbrand, you get a bunch more damage because of the Archmage support. So right now in town, we're at 2,223. If I take out Archmage, how much do I do? 672 damage. You guys tell me if that's good. That one skill gem, we go from 600 to 2,223. It's almost a 4-time multiplier onto our Stormbrand. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Hey, what's up, K-Trim? Welcome, welcome. Hello there, neighbor. G3 Mr. Rogers here today. Melovich says, G3, you changed tunes? Yes. So yesterday I decided to reroll as a Hierophant because I was getting frustrated with the bugs to dual wielding. So let me bring everybody up to date if you haven't been around for the rest of the stream today. So we are presently about to kill Kitava, about to go fight Kitava. And then we'll type in /passives and we'll laugh about all the other passives that I can go pick up because I missed them along the way. We just completed both of our ascendancies, so we are level 64 on a Hierophant. We are currently making our way down towards the Silent Life Wheel with our levels. We'll fill that out in between now and level 80. And then there's a couple of jewel sockets that we will grab to give us even more maximum mana. We're grabbing life and mana. As you can see, my life total is very, very low. I am using a tabular right now and using an obliteration demon horn wand, which is just nice for clear, as though this build needs any help clearing. It's just nice for more clear. We're using a gold rim, we're using wanderlust, we're using an essence worm in order to actually give us wrath, which wrath is really, really good. It gives us 20% more spell damage for lightning, which is really good off of our Stormbrand. I was just showing everybody, this is the amount of damage that we do on Stormbrand right now, 2,556. When I take out Archmage support, we're down to 800 damage, 847 damage. So it's almost a 4 times multiplier, the damage off of Archmage support alone. So it's really, really good. And of course, we're also using a whole bunch of different supports that stack up the mana multiplier. That's part of the reason why Archmage is so good. And we are now on our way to Kitava to go die to him probably 5 to 6 times before he dies to us. And then we'll be into maps. Whoops. Where did my brands go? Occasionally my brands are running out. I need to get my brand cooldown a little bit better on brand recall. So I need to get an empower up to like level 3 or 4 and then get that going. That would be quite helpful. Also, in terms of Ascendancy choices, we've been debating back and forth whether or not we were going to go with the Arcane Surge bonus early on. And I decided to get that for my Uber Lab. So we'll see if that ends up being a mistake or not. I have Arcane Surge pretty consistently, I feel like, because I've got it linked with Stormbrand as well as with Dash. So we've got Arcane Surge pretty consistently at the moment. But we'll have Arcane Surge virtually all the time once we get to our Uber Lab, because Arcane Blessing gains Arcane Surge when you or your totems hit an enemy with a spell. So anytime that we're hitting with Stormbrand is going to count for giving us Arcane Surge. And our Arcane Surge right now is going to be a whole bunch more effect because we've got, what, 10% increased effect over here? 10% increased effect? Yeah, this is 10% up to 50% per 200 mana spent recently. So potentially it's like having 2 Arcane Surges, actually. It's twice as much Arcane Surge. Almost, not quite. And then this is also an Arcane Surge effect, right? Yeah, increase spell damage while you have Arcane Surge. And then we leech some spell damage back as life while we have Arcane Surge. So that is quite handy, because it's tough to get spell leech. It is tough to get spell leech. Complete the Immortal Syndicate encounters. They'll never catch me. You can't catch me, punk! Look at me. Look at me. I'm Stormbrand Hierophant. Run, run, run as fast as you can. I'm a geriatric wizard. You can't catch me. Oh, man. Look at that, the intervention guys. Like, legitimately, they have to just, like, repopulate every other screen. That's pretty great. Alright, talk to Sin. Does that mean they're going to try to assassinate me inside Kitava? Yep, it does. I've never seen that before. That's funny. Oh, man. Oh, gosh, I'm going to die. Oh, gosh. Am I dead yet? Nope. Kitava's already faced once. Wow. That's just fantastic. This is great. This is so far so good. Okay, now he's going to grab Innocence. Oh no, he grabbed Sin this time. Alright, he grabbed Innocence and Sin. Come up here. The top right corner is usually a safe corner, by the way. To get away from his of his screams. His slam can go over there. But for the most part, many of his one-shot mechanics cannot reach you up in the top right corner. So you can kind of cheese the Kitava fight by going up into the top right corner. If that's something that you want to do. Whoops. Arcane Cloak is so good. I like Arcane Cloak. Alright, now he grabs Innocence. Innocence is like, oh no, I'm innocent, bro. Don't tase me. Oh, go on to the top right. Oh, that time it was bottom left. Most of the time you're safe top right. Sometimes it's bottom left. Over here is where we would have been safe. But that's okay. He's not going to be safe. Whoops, we're not going to be safe. How many times did I say he's going to kill me? At least 5 or 6. So far 2. Alright, top right is where we're safe on this time. Nope. Man. Bottom left, apparently. Apparently I got him on the mirror attempt or something. I got Bizarro Kitava. Maybe it's Act 5 Kitava that it's the top right that you can hide in, and maybe it's the bottom left for Act 10 Kitava. Alright, and down he goes. May a new dawn rise! Superior Flask, nice. Portal Scroll, I'll take that. And let's go get 2 passives. Oh gosh, look at all my resistances now. Oh, 34, 35, 21. Oh, that's so gross. It's really bad. Melovich says, I wonder if the MOM Vortex works well. What do you think on a hero? Yeah, I'm sure you could do it. Sure you could do it. Melchizedek says, you put the Archmage on Orb of Storms too, right? Try Pepe's Rage and Voidbringers. Nah, no, I've seen that already. I actually think that you can get much better damage without Pepe's or Apep's Rage. Apep's Rage. You can get way better damage, just even better clear, especially with Obliteration. Alright. So with 2 passives, we're no longer going for the spiffy, sexy damage. We're going for waha down in here for lots of HP. We can type in passives. We have a total of 19 passives from the quest, so that means we missed out on a whole bunch. We've got Kitava's Torments to do, we've got Puppet Mistress to do, Reflection of Terror, and Valenta's Vengeance. So that's 4. Was that 4? Yeah, it's 4 passives that we've got available to us. Not bad. Not bad at all. And what level? Level 64? Man. In hardcore, I would have been farming that up until like level... Usually level 68 or so. Gotten a Comb's Heart, and then I just would have stood underneath Kitava and been like, you can't do anything to me. Wah, ha, ha, ha. Saki McAbber says, is it in the Syndicate's best interest to save Kitava? Apparently. Apparently so. Apparently the Syndicate are a bunch of dirty little Kitava loyalists. Not me. I'm a rogue. I go against the grain. I'm G3 Mr. Rogers. I'm not a Kitava loyalist. Oh wow, apparently something popped there. Did you see that? I didn't even see that there were monsters there. And Obliteration's like, here, let me get rid of those guys for you. Thanks. Thanks, Obliteration. Good guy, Obliteration wand. Popping monsters before G3 Iron can even see them. Alright, let's Get some of those up. Get some of these up. Get some of these up. And then get some of these up. She dead yet? Ah, she's dead. Alright. And what else do we need to do? We need to do Ugil. And Kitava's Torments. And Valenta. So that'll be another 3 passives. So that'll be good. Alright, who do I need to talk to? Need to go back to Act 6. Talk to Sin. Oh, Melovich says it depends on where he starts breathing the fire. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Wait, did I seriously not talk to Sin just now? Oh, I went to the wrong Lion Eyes Watch. That's my problem. Dope. Oliver Smith says, don't forget there's also mana under the life wheel. Yeah, Dynamo, but it's reduced mana cost of skills. I don't want to reduce the mana cost of skills, right? That's a lot of mana. It's 13% plus 16. That's a lot of mana. That is nothing to joke about. But unfortunately, mana cost reduction is not what we're aiming for here. Alright, let's get 5% life and start filling out all of these 5% life nodes. I wonder if it would actually be more point efficient to pull all of these points and to just put them in another large jewel cluster that gives me a whole bunch of excuse me, a whole bunch of life points. That's an interesting idea. If I do go crit and I get off of Elemental Overload, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 passives that I can undo there and connect my tree here. So that'll give me that'll free up another 2 passive points. Also, I can probably get rid of the attack and cast speed here. Yeah. Probably should grab this up here too for Purity of Flesh. Alright, let's go kill Ugil. Christian says, how does Brands interact with Archmage? You get the damage bonus forever after casting the brand? Yes. As long as you keep the brands going, you keep the damage. Yes. If your response to that was, wow, that's crazy and it seems really good, it's because it is. You also, it's the same thing for Arcane Cloak as well. So, it snapshots the damage, basically. You keep the Arcane Cloak damage. Jake says, get a couple of Might of the Meek around the Silent Life nodes. That will make them more point efficient. Kong says, you should anoint Battle Rouse on your amulet, as it's the only node which gives back mana as you are damaged on the tree. Rest are in the Watcher's Eye if you really need it. Where is Battle Rouse? Whoops. Here it is. Oh, this is the one that you were talking about. 8%, 10%, and 15%. That's a lot. I might just path all the way down there and get it. Because I'm already coming down through the Silent Life Wheel. That's, what, 4 points? That's totally worth it. And I'm already getting what? This is 10% of damage is taken from Mana Before Life. So that's my 40% of damage is taken from Mana Before Life. And then I'll gain some of my mana back. That's great. Yeah, that's great. That's a good call. That is a really good call, my dude. All right, let's go find... Who do I need to go find? Let's go find Ugil. Ugil. Where are you at, buddy? Ugil. I hate the High Garden Zone because there's so many flippin' porcupines in here. So good. So good. Yes, brands have always been good. I enjoyed playing. I believe it was an Elementalist brand, Armageddon brander, that I took down Shaper with when brands first came out, and it was fun. A whole bunch of people were racing with Stormbrand at that point, and it was very good. There was no doubt it was incredibly strong. They were all making good decisions. I made a poor decision and chose the worst of the two for speed, but I still think Armageddon brand is a much better brand for applying damage to bosses. Stormbrand will still get the job done. There's no doubt about that. Also, I need an Enlighten for my brand recall. That's what I need. There's so many more buttons to push with this than when I'm playing a summoner. Oops, am I gonna die? Yes, I am. Not anymore, I'm not. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Where is he? Here he is. Get him! Oh no, watch out for his big frost balls. Dude, I hate it when demigods just keep throwing their frost balls at me. You know what I'm saying? Such an annoying workplace hazard in Rayclast. Yu-Gi-Oh! I love how Sin shouts at all the demigods, like, I'm stealing your powers! Ha! Look at how happy Sin is. So happy. You and your minions take 25% reduced reflected damage. Ooh. Alright, let's go talk to Hargan. And away we go. Where's Hargan? Why did it not put me back in Act 8? Why did it put me in Act 6? That's silly. Oh well. Alright, let's go get this passive, and then I think I still need Valenta and Kitava's Torments. Alright, passives. Valenta's Vengeance and Kitava's Torments, and that's it. Oh, and Ruler of Highgate. There we go. I thought there was one I was missing. Ruler of Highgate. That's right, I gotta go kill Kira. Diego Breed says, Yo G3, this could work with Arc, right? Yes, Fast AF has got a video on it. If you Google Fast AF Arc Archmage, you will see, my friend. You will see. We actually tried it with Arc. I'm leveling an Arc. Where is it? Over here. This is what it looks like with Arc, with no other changes to the build. No other changes. Whoops. No other changes. Where's Arc? This is what it looks like. Boom. Let's go in here. We'll see if there's some pack density in here to show off with Arc. Looks quite nice. Ta-da! Quite nice, right? Quite nifty. Quite nifty. Just single-shotting stuff. Now, the problem that I have with Arc is not actually with Arc in and of itself. It's just for speed. Like, for speed, it's always going to be faster to go with the brand because brands attach, and then you set it and you forget it. You don't have to worry about it ever again. But in terms of theme, if you want to be Emperor Palpatine and you want to go around electrocuting stuff, Arc is the way to go. So what you do is you want to pop Arcane Cloak prior to actually popping off, like, your big damage on a boss. And so, like, there's a boss coming up here, so we're going to wait for Arcane Cloak. Alright, there's Arcane Cloak, and then boom, that raises the mana cost on all of our skills. And because of that also, sometimes you'll find yourself not being able to cast because your mana cost is through the roof. But it's good. It's good for what it does. If you just want to one-shot screens at a time, you can. That's an option for you. I was thinking the other day that Magma Orb would be pretty good. Do Bell Timbers, do a whole bunch of, like, Dying Sun, a whole bunch of projectile shenanigans, get a Gloomfang, and get a whole bunch of chains going. And it is good. It is, like, it's a good build in and of itself. I just don't know if Archmage is going to be good for it. Because I was trying Archmage plus Magma Orb plus Unleash, and it just didn't feel that great. Part of that's just because Magma Orb low level usually does feel pretty bad. And the targeting on it feels pretty bad if you don't have like tons of chain. Oftentimes that's why players will play Magma Orb as a Deadeye. I think the most popular person to ever do it was Mathel when he did it, I think in 3.8. Or not 3.8, I'm sorry, in 3.4? I believe he played it back during Delve League. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. Alright, is this Kira or is this a refinery? That's a refinery. So Kira is going to be all the way down. Down here. But you can see, like, the clear speed with Stormbrand, you don't have to stop to cast. So it's pretty ridiculous. Like, once you have your brands cast, the only thing that is controlling whether or not you ever have to cast them again is your brand recall cooldown. Which you can now buff because of Second Wind. Those of you who don't know this, where is it? Brand recall, I should actually be doing this up here. Brand recall can go as Second Wind support. And Second Wind support gives increased cooldown recovery of supported skills. So that's pretty good. And it doesn't matter if it's an instant skill or not. The supported non-instant skills have +1 cooldown use. That is obviously not going to apply because you're instant on brand recall, but the cooldown recovery speed is going to apply to it. So that's pretty compelling. And I would just say again that Stormbrand, out of the two brands, is the lesser of the two brands for dealing boss damage. And you can see, like, it doesn't even matter. It still is doing a ridiculous amount of damage. So maybe Archmage support is bugged. I don't know. I hope not. That would mean that both of my League starter builds were bugged, which that'd be obnoxious. I hope that's not the case. I hope they don't come out in a week and say, oh yeah, by the way, wasn't supposed to be doing that amount of damage. Like, I'm really hoping that self-cast is actually supposed to be doing this amount of damage, because it's good for self-cast. Dabo says, what's the mouse pointer called? This is called YOLO Mouse. YOLO Mouse. It is a wonderful program. K-Trim, who is a fellow G3 streamer, he's over on Twitch. You can check him out. K-Trim, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Is that right, K-Trim? And what time zone is that? I always get that wrong. But K-Trim also uses YOLO Mouse. It's a wonderful program. It allows you to change the look of your mouse when you're in-game. It's really, really helpful if you've got old and terrible eyes like me, or you're playing a game like Path of Exile, and there's a lot of visual clutter, and so you have no idea where you're clicking on, then it's also a very, very good thing. All right, I need to do Valenta, and then we'll come here. That's right. All right, Valenta is in control blocks. Diego says, is this the crit version or just spell damage? Presently, I am running with Elemental Overload. I actually have no idea how much crit multi I would have without Elemental Overload. Elemental Overload is giving me so much damage. Let's really quick. I just really quickly want to show you guys how much damage this is worth. A lot of players don't understand how strong Elemental Overload is. In some builds, when I'm helping players out with their POBs, it's legitimately like 30 to 40 passive points worth of damage. So let's import my character here onto POB. Hey, K-Trim, I got it right. That's right. 10 to 2 Central Time. 10 to 2 Central US Time. Okay, what's going on, POB? What's the deal here? I'm just trying to import a character. That's all I'm trying to do. What's the deal? What is the deal here? Is there an update? Did I break my POB? If that's the case, that would be quite distressing. Apparently nothing POB related is working. Well, I'll have to show that another time. Here's the point. 40% more elemental damage if you've dealt a crit in the past 8 seconds means you don't have to scale into crit chance because you only need a crit once every 8 seconds. We've got 4 brands right now that all attack very, very quickly and therefore are critting on a regular basis within 8 seconds. And so you pretty much always have this up and you're getting 40% more multiplier. That in order to get this, I think the breaking point is like 450 or 500 crit multi. It's something ridiculous. Like the amount of crit multi that you need in crit chance. So, Melovich says, G3, what was your early test of Delirium map thingies? We just ran 4 of them just really quickly to see if early game maps paid off at all. And they did. So early game Delirium is pretty profitable if you get Scarabs, Incubators, or Currency. If you don't get Scarabs, Incubators, or Currency, if you get like rare jewelry, then it's just a waste of your time. Well, unless you're doing the Chaos Recipe. If you're doing the Chaos Recipe, what drops? Oh, nice. If you're doing the Chaos Recipe, then it's probably worth your time actually to do the jewelry. Because otherwise jewelry might not otherwise drop. So, I guess take that with a grain of salt. In my opinion, I'm going to make more currency just by trading than I am going to be from farming that up early on in the league. Doesn't mean it's not worth it for other players. It just means it's not worth it for me. I would much rather spend my time that I'm actually playing the game killing monsters because there's plenty of time that I'm spending in-game where I'm not killing monsters, where I'm trading on behalf of myself or for other players. So, Quantum says, I've been having POB problems the past 2 days. Oh, man, that sucks. That's terrible news. Like, raise your hand if you play POB, like, anywhere close to the same amount of time that you play POE. Like, for me, it's probably actually pretty close. Like, that's bad news if POB go down. That's bad news. That is bad news for all of us theory crafters. And all of us who like to improve our builds. This build is so fast. Oh my goodness. Now granted, what is this? This is a level 66 zone. I'm level 65. Like, this is a zone that should be not necessarily giving me troubles, but like, this is my level appropriate zone. It is definitely not giving me troubles. Oh yeah, and I haven't upgraded my elemental resistances yet. My elemental resistances are absolutely garbage. Look at that. 34, 35, 21. I'm going to go in here and die. I need to go up into the right, or up into the left. Yeah, the thing about Archmage is that it really does cost a lot of mana, though. Whatever spell you have attached to it, don't expect to be able to spam it. So, that's just a consideration. Be aware of that. Which I think if you could spam it, then there would be a lot more spells that would be candidates for Archmage, but I think things like Spark, for instance, like if you have just a ton of duration on it, maybe you cast it once with a whole bunch of projectiles, it might be really good. It might also just be garbage. Might just be a hot pile of garbage. You would need your projectiles to pierce several times for it to be worth it. So maybe it would just be a hot pile of garbage. You dead yet, Valenta? Jeez. Tanky. Alright, let's go turn this one in. Alright, so we got 2 that we can turn in. Whew! Victor says, Hola, ¿cómo estás, hombre? Welcome! Welcome to Mr. Rogers' Ray Class neighborhood, friend. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm G3 Mr. Rogers, and it's an honor to have you here. Today we're talking about sharing. We're talking about sharing loot. We go into a zone, we kill the monsters, and they share their loot with us. That's how things work in Mr. Rogers' Rayclast. Alright. Give me this. There we go. Anybody else I need to talk to? I think that's it, right? 21 passives. Ruler Highgate. That's what these are. Oh, still one from Kitava's Torments. Okay. One from Kitava's. Alright, let's go down here. Give me even more mana. I want even more mana. Alright, Act 5, Kitava's Torments. We're down here. Laucon says, Delirium has been a feast or famine for me. Got next to nothing the first couple of days, but today I got a belt worth 5x. Never had this much currency before maps. Just started Act 10. Hey, that's great, man. That's good. Alejandro says, I only have problem when importing with a gamer tag. Oh, that's interesting. So rather than using an account name, I don't know how else am I going to import it. Oh, it worked that time. Okay, great. It worked. All right, so let's take a look at this. Where am I? Draconis Delirium. Here we go. All right, so on my tree, this is how much damage that Elemental Overload is worth. So right now, let's go to Stormbrand. Stormbrand's damage, its average hit damage is 2,045 right now. If I take away Elemental Overload, we lose what? What is that? 27% of our damage. So we'll get plus 50 crit multiplier, but we lose out on a considerable amount of damage. So in order for us to make up for this, I want you to see this for just a second. We're at 75 passive spent. Where is this? All right, so in order to fill that back out, in order for our average hit to get back up to 2,000, this is what we've got to do. We got to come take some crit, right? So let's say we take Arcane Potency. That puts us from 14 to 15. That's 3 points. Let's say we come back in and we take all of these crit nodes, right? That gives us crit chance and crit multiplier. That puts our crit multiplier up to 255. We're at 1714 on our average hit. Let's come all the way over and let's take Throatseeker. That puts us up to 1792 on our average hit, with our crit multiplier up to 309. Let's say that we come down into the Shadow Tree, right? Is it the Shadow Tree? Yeah, it is. So let's come down the more efficient way. Let's grab Assassination and Cloak. All right. We are now up to 2,056 points, and we are at 96 passive points spent. Just realize that. 96 passive points spent. Where were we before? We were at... Remove this. Remove this. Remove this. And take this. What was that? 94 passive points versus 76? So for this tree, it's worth 18 passive points for us to go Elemental Overload. Now, are there other ways that we could work this out? Absolutely. On all of our gear, we could put crit multi. On all of our gear, we could put crit strike chance. Yes, there's lots of other ways that you can scale it. My point being, for early on in the league, when you don't want to go out and look for a whole bunch of currency, expensive items that have got a bunch of crit multi and crit chance on them, and when you're starved for passive points for getting your basic structure of your build going crit, versus if you're an elemental build and you can go Elemental Overload versus going Elemental Overload, it is a bunch more damage for you to go Elemental Overload. So I'm glad we were able to take a look at that, because it's pretty ridiculous, right? The amount of damage that you get off of one single node. All right, where am I? I'm in the Ruin Square. Okay, I'm in the right Ruin Square, right? Yeah. I'm not in the Act 10 Ruin Square, right? That's all that matters. As long as I'm in the right ruin square. Alright, we gotta go find the reliquary. Is this reliquary? Yeah, here we go. Cowsad says, the day when body gear can roll elemental overload. I mean, they've got that for several other keystones, right? They've got it for MOM with Cloak of Defiance. They've got it for, I forget what it is, with Phase Acro. Right, but Phase Acro has got one. Or Acrobatics, at least, has got one. I forget what that unique gear is called. But they've got them for a couple, right? For a couple of those Ascendancy, or not Ascendancy nodes, but for those key nodes. There are a couple that have attached uniques to them. At Zeri's Acuity, right, gives you Vol Pact, right? What else? I'm trying to think what else. There's at least a couple more that give you nodes. I'm not talking about stuff that gives you like equivalent to nodes, right? There's a lot of gear that gives you equivalent to nodes. Isn't there one that gives you Avatar of Fire? Isn't there, maybe there's not a unique that gives you Avatar of Fire. I thought there was. Alright, deliver these back to Lonnie. Quantum Dot says, not really, because changing only the tree doesn't make you a crit build. It doesn't work that way. Yes, there's more considerations, right? There's gear considerations as well as skill considerations. My point is on this particular build, as you are leveling, Elemental Overload is a fantastic way for you to scale early on. Early on. Cowsed says, Iron Gap on gloves, which is why there's no Iron Gap but for Dex and Intel. Oh, there you go. Quantum Dot says, on my crit build, if I hover over Elemental Overlord, I lost 65% of my damage. Absolutely, because you've scaled and you've built that way. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it's very, very cheap early on to go Elemental Overload and get the rest of your structure built out, and then you can fill in from there. That doesn't mean everybody has to do that. I'm not saying that's the best way to approach the game. I'm saying that's one way to approach it. Zoph's Blood is what has Avatar of Fire. Great. Good clarification. Thank you for that, guys. What else? There's also basically every single major node, right? Resolute Technique. Doesn't something have Resolute Technique, or is that just a corruption? Zealot's Oath. That's Joffrey's Sanctuary, right? CI doesn't necessarily have one, but Shavs basically functions as CI, right? Ghost Reaver. Doesn't somebody have Ghost Reaver? Arrow Dancing. I'm actually not sure about that one. Somebody who plays bow builds. Quick, tell me about that. And tell me if there's an Arrow Dancing unique out there somewhere. Okay, so we have now defeated all of the bad guys in the campaign. And we are now going to start mapping. What's up? Well, this is a change of environment. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Rogers.
I'm just sitting right here for a minute on screen.
Oh, she's just sitting here for a minute. She just came up to say hello. Now I'm going to die a whole bunch because my wife is watching me. Now I'm nervous. All right, let's go do this bog map. You guys think we can do a tier 3 map with no upgrades? Look at my defenses. My defenses are awful. 34, 35, 21. What do you guys think? Can we do a bog map? Can we complete a bog map? Let's find out. Oh, what was this, by the way? We were going to look this up. Oh, Dendrobait. Isn't this good, this league? Aren't there a whole bunch of people that want to do poison builds? Is Dendrobait good, this league? Does anybody know? For those assassin boys? Oh, no. These are all apparently like one elk. What are the rolls on this thing? Not very good. Okay. We'll put it in the 2 Chaos tab, and away it'll go. There it will forever sit until it eventually graduates and migrates to standard. There we go. Sorry, folks. We had some question here about the bank. Had a problem with the bank, so we had to address that. This is why we track everything copiously, by the way. It's that way whenever there seems to be a problem, we can just go, okay, wait, is this actually a problem? And then go, nope, it's not actually. All these questions about how to bank. It's okay. It's okay. We can help out our fellow friends, right? We can help out our fellow guildmates, our fellow bankers. We had a longtime Patreon supporter who had a question if he had actually registered for the bank or not before he made his deposit. So he just wanted to make sure that he was registered. So we had to look that up. Yes. The answer was yes. Whew! He was registered. Eldritch Battery on Devouring Diadem. Oh, that's a good one. All right, let's go do this bog map. I still don't have my Uber unlocked, so I'm going to need to eventually get that done. But look at this. This is a tier 3 bog map. Look at this. These guys are just going down instantly. Look at this. Oh, gosh. I'm going to die. I'm talking trash about the game. That means I'm going to die. Fear not the elements. Look at my elemental resistances. I'm fine. Look. 85, 85, 85. Who cares about elemental resistances? Am I right? Oh, gosh. I have 0 stun recovery, actually, on this build, too. I have negative stun recovery. Like, there's no stun recovery. There's no stun prevention. Everybody else gets stun prevention with their ascendancies. Why don't Hierophant? Come on now. Hierophant should have, like, while you have Arcane Surge, you cannot be stunned or inflicted with elemental ailments. Yeah, let's get that. Let's make that happen. Look at these guys just popping. Popping. Boom. Might even say my build is popping off. Ah, ah, ah. Look at all those levels that we just got. Woo-wee! Look at those guys. Those guys are going to die real quick. All right, where's the boss? Is he over here? Yeah, he's over here. Go get him, guys. Man, I'm going to level up so quick as long as I don't continually die. That's the trick to every build, right? We'll all level up real quick if we don't continually die. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Oh, my goodness. Oh, there we go. Speaking of continuously dying. So what happened there was I got stunned, could not actually dash out because I got repeatedly chain stunned. And so I was dead. Just don't get hit, scrub. Who needs Ellie resistances? Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. We are of one mind here. Absolutely. 65%. Level 65. I've got 2,300 HP. This is not acceptable, folks. Children, I would not recommend this for anyone to do at home. Would not recommend this at all. All right, but let's see what we can do to the bog boss map. Huh? He just keeps charging around. Ooh, that's obnoxious. Holy crap. Holy crap. I'm gonna die here. Ah! Quit charging around, you dirty jerk. There we go. We took him out. All right, bog map completed with only 1 death. See? Easy peasy. No, seriously, though. As soon as we actually get a 6th link here with, you know, any amount of HP and any amount of mana, that's going to be good. Boots are going to be good too. Boots are going to be good as well. So that's very good news. So I'm very excited about that. Both of those will be good. Getting 6 links, getting boots. What else? My belt just has life. It has no resistances whatsoever on it. My shield has got a little bit of lightning resistance, a little bit of life, but I think I got this at like level 30 and I was just looking for anything that had spell damage on it. This ring we actually got today. It's okay. These we found in the guild stash because they had 2 resistances on them. So I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement. Momo says maybe do a wave of conviction, curse on hit, cull. Or do you have it on Orb of Storms? Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I should put culling on something, right? To go against bosses. That's an exceptional point. All right, well, there's lots of upgrades that we can do here on this character. Melchizedek says, is it good to put Second Wind on Brand Recall? Yes, you want to link Second Wind and Empower onto your Brand Recall. So Brand Recall, you want Empower, you want levels on Brand Recall because it increases your cooldown and it boosts brands by a whole bunch by boosting the level to Brand Recall. And then Second Wind gives you increased cooldown recovery speed, and that includes to your Brand Recall. So, all right, that's where we're going to call it for the day. This is G3 Mr. Rogers saying that we have gone from level, I don't know, where were we? We were Act 7 is where we started the day, or Act 8 is where we started. And we're wrapping up with a pretty interesting looking tree. Especially all the way up here. A pretty interesting looking tree. I'm actually pretty happy with this tree. I guess we could not come through here and go all the way around over here and grab another extended notable if we want to. But I'm pretty happy with this tree. I'm pretty happy with this character, Draconis Delirium, at the moment. I think that, my goodness, Archmage support, I just want to once again key this in for anybody who has no idea how good this is. Stormbrand right now is doing 2998 damage. If I take Archmage out, I'm doing just over 1,000. So this more than doubles my damage. Just putting in Archmage support. So the question that we had when we started this Hierophant character is Archmage support good? The answer is yes. You can use it with basically any skill in order to increase the mana cost, and it will improve that skill by a significant margin. I think Stormbrand is probably going to be the best way to use it, but I'm sure other people are going to come up with better ways and more creative ways to use it in the future. Anyway, all that being said, I hope that today is the day a Mirror of Calandra drops for you, and I hope you have a great rest of your play session and a great rest of your day that is safe, because remember, life is hardcore. You only get one shot at it. Stay safe out there, everybody.